an ambush.
Oh my God, it's an ambush!
It's an ambush!
Of course!
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to a ambush stream. In the grand tradition of Ranting Monkey contacting me back in the days and saying, "Hey, I'm bored," I bring you Undoomed. Good evening, Undoomed.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing all right. Yes,
Doing
Undoomed
all right.
contacted me a little while ago. It was like, "Oh, the missus is out and I'm bored." I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I'm having flashbacks. It's time to stream. Time to talk about stuff."
Yeah,
So-
yeah, it's a good time to do some streaming when the missus is away. So there we go.
Well, and we have plenty of people here already, even though this was an unplanned, off-the-cuff kind of thing. Let's see. Kiro Soldier, good evening. Mr. X, hello. Kieverdan, hello. And thank you, Kieverdan, as always, for providing the link at the top of the chat box, guys, to the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society donation page. If you can donate, please do so. But even if you can't, if you can share that out on social media, that would be appreciated. So thank you ahead of time for that. And thank you, Kieverdan, for providing the link. JPS, good evening. Frank Hubbard, hello. Who else is here? I know this is kind of unplanned, guys. Robert Pincus, hello. And Zed the Snarky, good evening. And yeah, guys, so if you haven't already, please do like and share the stream. Let people know about it. I put it out on Twitter and a couple of Discords, but here we are. So, Undoomed, tell me about yourself.
Yeah.
What's going on? What's great? What's going on? Or what's not so great?
Just to be on the positive side, today I found out that my favorite VST synth is finally available for the current newest OS. So I could finally update and run that again. So I've been working on a song. So that's awesome.
Now, I've heard many of your orchestrations over the time, especially like your Doom homage and your 80s homage kind of music. What do you plan? Do you have anything in the works? Anything in particular?
No, this one is kind of also synthwave.
Okay.
That's kind of what I'm into right now. So yeah, it's a synthwave song, and it's been working out great since I got my favorite synth back. It's always so fucking irritating nowadays. You know, back in the day, you used to buy a fucking synthesizer. It was a huge thing. It was like 4 feet long, and you put it in there, and you knew that would work forever, basically. But now it's always like, oh, what's going to happen with this OS? And can I update? Can I not? And obviously, I can't really give a shit about the music stuff because that's not my job. I have to go with what works with the film stuff because that is my job. So yeah, it was just a nice surprise that I found out.
Times were simpler then.
Oh yeah,
in the olden days. Okie Native, does that make you Undoomed side piece? Sure. Yeah, the Mrs. leaves and I show up. That's kind of how it works. Yeah, Scribe Light Rent a Boy. There you go. Fine. Whatever works for you. And Derek LaRue, holy cats. Thank you, Derek, as always. That is ridiculously generous of you. Appreciate it. Hope you're having a good evening and hope you enjoy the show. Also, The Dead Man. Hello. Mike R. Hello. Dina B. Good evening. Happy Friday. The Alexander, a.k.a. Noah Zentio. Good evening. And I think that's everybody. I'll try to say other hellos as time goes on. So, what is... oh, yeah, go ahead.
I should just... I forgot about it. I should probably go and tweet this out as well. So,
sure.
Just give me a second.
No problem. Is that still the verb after it's been changed to X? Do we still call it tweeting and retweeting?
I do. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I've been trying to think what the new vernacular should be, but I also don't spend that much time on it.
I still call it Twitter. Like, what do you call it?
Well, I made a joke for the longest time of saying, like, be sure to share this out on Twitter. I mean, X, because, you know, I have to call it X now. I thought it was kind of a silly change, but Elon is just obsessed with X's in one way or another.
Well, I just feel like I'm on some sort of porno site when I say it like that.
Yeah, I loved it when it was like, oh yeah, live streaming videos coming to X. Yeah, guys, it's called X Video. Just look it up. Yeah, no. That was fun. Yeah, that was the joke for a bit. Hoko Sports, hello. And Asan, good evening. So what is on the mind of the Undoomed on this Friday, aside from synthesizers and synthwave?
Ooh, that's a good. You're putting me on the spot. What?
I am.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't have a topic like sort of planned out or anything.
Neither did I. That's why I was asking. I'm fishing here because you're.
Yeah. Okay. Let's start with this.
Okay.
You tweeted a tweet just now with that woman who made all those racist tweets. Right?
Oh yes, Miss Felix. What's her name? Yeah, I was looking on YouTube to see if I could find
Felix.
Saint Felix. Yeah, actually, the weirdest thing was as soon as I saw that, because Christopher, I think it was Christopher Rufo on Twitter a day or two ago. I think it was him. He started just retweeting out all her old racist tweets. So you got, guys, if you don't know what I'm talking about, let me get you a story here real quick. Let me pull this up. Pardon me one second while I get this for reference, because this is a self-own beyond compare. Let's see. I'm going to get a pop-up on this, aren't I? Probably. Okay. Well, I'll wait for the pop-up, but let me share my screen. And here we go. If it'll... And by the way, guys, just as a warning, there have been reports, and I have experienced this myself, of some problems with StreamYard and Chrome at the same time. So if something goes goofy, it's not my fault. I already divest myself of any responsibility. Anyway, New Yorker writer who referred to Sydney Sweeney as Aryan Princess deleted series of racist X posts. Quote, "I hate white men." That's the least of the things that she was saying.
Yeah, that was a whole litany.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, Christopher Rufo was retweeting out all of her old racist and anti-Semitic stuff yesterday or the day before. And so he just had this gigantic thread from stuff that she'd been writing since 2015 and forward of just like, anyway, the article will tell us. A staffer for the New Yorker who denounced Sydney Sweeney as an Aryan princess has spouted anti-white and anti-Semitic rhetoric in social media posts before scrubbing her account after being called out on Friday. Doreen St. Felix. Now, St. Felix is a great last name, I think. But that aside.
It sounds kind of like, it reminds me of what the hell is that? Airwolf. Wasn't there like a Saint something in that Airwolf series?
Yeah, Saint... Oh, now you're putting me on the spot. Hold on a second here.
It was just something I thought of.
Airwolf. I know, but now you got my brain going like... well, there's Jan Michael Vincent, but I mean Dominic Santini.
I think it was
Saint John Hawk.
Oh.
Saint John Hawk was a character. That was his first name was Saint John. That's bizarre.
Right.
Anyway.
I just remember the saint.
St. Felix 33, who had written several racist posts on X, the site formerly known as Twitter, because nobody knows this anymore, apparently, including that whiteness fills me with a lot of hate, and that, quote, "the Holocaust is the worst thing to happen to black people," unquote.
Wait, what?
The unearthed inflammatory tweets date back to 2014, 3 years before the Haitian-American journalist was hired by the left-leaning magazine run by longtime editor David Remnick. St. Felix deleted her X account after her comments resurfaced following her recent article for the Condé Nast-owned publication. Sorry.
Wait, did she say the Holocaust was the worst thing that happened to black people?
The Holocaust is the worst thing to happen to black people.
Bruh.
I mean, now, if you believe in the black Israelite theory, if you know what I mean, that's right. If that's what she's talking about, then maybe. Delete her X account following her recent article for Condé Nast-owned publication in which she criticized Sweeney's American Eagle campaign. In the 1,040-word piece that ran August 2nd, she accused Sweeney's fans of wanting to, quote, recruit her as a kind of Aryan princess, and declared that they were, quote, there were, quote, plenty of reasons to dislike the ad. Sure, she was wearing too much clothing. Oh, sorry.
That is a good point. That is a good point.
The ad has been panned by the woke mob for its play on words that boasts about the blonde star's great genes. However, it was St. Felix who was feeling the heat after ex-users, including conservative journalist Chris Rufo, that I was right, flooded the New Yorker's site with screenshots of her past tweets. Yeah, if you want to see this, guys, look, and you have an X account, or you don't, look up Christopher Rufo and just scroll through his feed a little bit. He had it was an absolute waterfall of all of her past nasty tweets, which was something to behold. In one tweet targeting white men dated in December of 2014, St. Felix wrote, quote, you all are the worst. Go nurse your fucking Oedipal complexes and leave the earth to the Browns and the women. I didn't know the football team was involved in this. Another simply said, I hate white men. Well, fair enough. I like
the one where she was blaming white people for all the diseases, and all the diseases were things that have... No, she was blaming them on white people's lack of hygiene.
Sure.
And all the diseases were things that have nothing to do with hygiene.
Well, here's a sampling. These are from 2014, 2015. It's trichnological when white people invoke the Holocaust, allows them to step out of their whiteness and slip on fake oppression. Like the experimenting on living people Nazis did during the Holocaust, that's what happened to black women, but 100-fold. Dare I say it, how WW2 erased and then rewrote world tragedy, the Holocaust is the worst thing to happen to black people. The tolerability of racism is linked to how it's acted out on brown bodies. The Holocaust was not tolerable because of white victims, so it ended.
Okay, I've never understood this thing. Can you explain it? Like, people use this term all the time. Mm-hmm. They talk about brown bodies or black bodies or something. Like, what is wrong with like saying brown people? Brown.
It's something to do with. Okay, and again, I'm not an expert. I've heard this phrase used a lot of times, but usually, like, I've heard it whenever I've listened to someone talking about prison abolition. There was this one lady on TEDx one time where she was talking about, I visited this prison, and it was filled with so many brown and black bodies. And I think it has something to do with someone expressing how they think the world sees non-white people as simply objects. I think. So
they're objecting themselves?
I guess. I don't know. Or they see the brown... Well, because since identity politics runs so rampant in this, it has nothing to do with individuality. It has everything to do with just the fact that you exist as a thing in a demographic. So I'm not quite sure, and I'm honest, I don't know. I'm not quite sure what the reference is supposed to mean, other than to, I guess, either group everybody into a non-human category which they're projecting onto what other people see them as, or if they are idolizing... Sorry, go ahead.
It sounds really dehumanizing.
It sounds dehumanizing, but they
are the ones saying it.
Yeah, I also wonder if they're not, when they say things like that, if they're not trying to raise up or idolize simply the state of being a brown body or a black body. Like that alone is something to be made sacred. I don't know. It all depends on the context, but I could see it going either way. In this instance, she's running a victim narrative acted on how it's acted out on brown bodies. So I can only assume that we are sort of enshrining someone's physical state as sacred, I guess.
Yeah,
that's my armchair psychology.
It's weird.
It is
to me. It sounds like they're trying to almost dehumanize themselves and then project that onto other people.
I've also never understood the repopularization of the idea of people of color, because when I was growing up, colored people was something you'd hear in like Mississippi Burning. Talking about how people used to treat each other back in the 50s. This is one of the things that, I mean, I can only laugh at it now because it's so commonplace, but this is one of the things that just dumbstruck me back when I started my channel, when it came to seeing diversity programs going on. And I thought about what it was that they were actually promoting. Because I still remember when I was like 6 years old, and I was in the first grade or something, and the teacher wheeled out the TV on the stand with the VCR underneath it. If anybody in chat remember that, then you're old. And we watched this sort of black and white documentary that was like old newsreel footage of the race riots and the protests and the civil rights movement and everything for Martin Luther King Jr. Day. And when I was a 6-year-old kid, I'm sitting there watching this stuff. And of course, when you're a 6-year-old kid back in the 80s and you're looking at black and white TV stuff, this is ancient history. This is like 1,000,000 years ago or something, right? And when I was watching this stuff, and I was watching the fire hoses and the dogs and people yelling at little kids going to school, and the narrators were talking about this stuff, I was just absolutely bewildered. I was like, how can people be so mean? That was it's a very simple childlike thought. How can people be so mean? Because my classroom had people that looked, I grew up with lots of different looking people, whether they were white or otherwise, and I didn't understand. And of course, I got picked on as a kid because I was, had glasses and I was kind of small and quiet. So when I saw that, I grew up with that notion in my head. If you can believe it, I might have been slightly self-repressed over the course of my childhood. Right. I might be making up for lost time. But yeah. And now when I see this both in policy and rhetoric, a polite regression into things that I thought we were supposed to be moving on from. That's what sort of always angers me and irritates me over the last 10 years looking at DEI programs and like people of color and brown bodies. And, you have to acknowledge if you don't see color, then you don't see me, that kind of stuff. Ugh.
Yeah.
Drives me nuts.
That's absolutely antithetical to what I was brought up with.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see Sydney Watson's video?
I'll say no. I don't know. I know who she is, and I've seen a couple of her things, but not anything recently. Yeah,
I don't remember exactly when she published it. It was like a video about woke fatigue or something like that. Don't remember the title. It was very good. She had like all these examples of crazy people and how the tide is just turning.
Yes, thankfully.
People can just not stand it anymore.
It's reached a point where it's gotten so obviously bad that you can't ignore it. It's gone past its virtue born on date. But the other thing too is that the legal protections not only have gone away, but thankfully, at least so far with the Trump administration, they're actually threatening. I'm still waiting for the big hammer to come down. Threatening consequences for things that were an obvious violation of established law.
Yeah.
Because the companies like Meta and Amazon and Citi and HP, these guys could convince themselves that they were doing something virtuous for the longest time because nobody was minding the store. Nobody was actually. I don't even think they were.
I don't even think they were trying to convince themselves anything. I think they were just doing what people. What they thought people would want them to do because they're corporations and they want to make fucking money, right?
Well, I mean, part of it was the big financial institutions pushing it through their ESG stuff. They were basically saying if you don't have a DEI program, if you don't have some kind of equity thing,
so
we won't get your money.
So there's like what do they call BlackRock?
Mm-hmm. BlackRock, Vanguard,
those guys.
Yeah,
those guys It seems like those guys are probably true believers.
Sure.
But most companies, like 99% of companies, are just like, oh, this is what people want now? Okay, here you go.
Well, there are the true believers. There are the absolute grifters. Trying to tell the difference sometimes is a little difficult. But if they're not making any money on it, I assume they're a true believer.
It's kind of in the definition of being a corporation to be a grifter. That's they just have to satisfy the shareholders and
the money people.
Get people to buy more stuff, and if they think, okay, this is what people want now, okay, here you go, right? That's in there. That's kind of written into the constitution of being a corporation.
True, except that in this case it was driven by an ideology of fixing past mistakes. That's what they drove it on. That's what they based it on. It's to say that
but that's
society.
more like that's from the true believers like BlackRock and all those guys. But those, I think that is a small portion. I don't think like McDonald's gives a fuck. They're just like, okay, this is where we are now. This is
I think it was a given. I think it was like what you saw during like Gamergate and stuff. You'd get one person into a group or a company who was kind of the squeaky wheel, and people would capitulate rather than having conflict, and then they capitulate more, and then eventually you start to get agenda creep into things where never there was before. Like, well, we can't have orcs be bad guys anymore because obviously orcs are analogs for black people, and that's racist, guys. Like, what are you talking about? No, that's what it is. That's what people think. Like, okay, I guess we'll make orcs happy people now. That kind of stuff. I think it starts out with they think, I mean, just like with Hollywood, they think that they're speaking to some secret audience of, high-minded and more advanced individuals that they're going to push their agenda on. And the money people, like you say, they acquiesce because they think, oh, they must know something we don't. And here are the numbers, and here are the stats and everything. But that hasn't panned out. I think it's between the affirmative action being struck down in 2023, Trump bringing the hammer down on DEI stuff so explicitly, and other states and jurisdictions doing so, and that companies, and they were doing this in 2022, people keep thinking that because Trump became president, suddenly DEI became unfashionable. No, this stuff started dying in 2022 when all the companies finally had to admit to themselves, there was no ROI on DEI. It wasn't paying off. They're spending billions or millions of dollars on programs, and they weren't seeing some kind of return from it. And so they finally started ratcheting down.
Obviously, BlackRock had a big lever to pull because, companies want investments, obviously.
Yep.
And that's what BlackRock has. But they also have to sell products. You can't live off of just expanding the value of your company forever. You have to actually sell something at some point. So that's probably where they went wrong, or, where they are now realizing that there was a problem with this thing. And I think that it didn't happen when Trump gained office. It was sort of the only thing, it's like you say, it started much earlier, but what happened when Trump got into office was that people understood, oh, it's okay to say that? Oh, okay. That's cool, right?
Well, I mean, the thing that has let it go on for as long as it did was lack of enforcement of existing law. I mean, Title VI and Title VII in the Civil Rights Act.
Yeah, but you have to understand that the social pressure was so high to not say anything, right?
Oh, I know, because it would be racist. No, I understand. This has been going on for several different administrations now. It wasn't just Trump, and it was Biden and Obama, especially. It started really with Obama back in roundabouts 2015 or so when this really took off. But yeah, no, it wasn't fashionable to say diversity was bad because they always hid behind. It's the same thing with like Black Lives Matter or the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. The words we're using are good words. You're not against democratic republics for people, are you? You're not against diversity, equity, and inclusion, are you? Those are good words. If you're against good words, you're a bad person.
Right.
That stuff. It's the label does not match the contents of the jar. Real quick, over in the chat, I'm Miranda Stone. Guys, I don't know if you know about Miranda Stone, but if you don't, let me tell you. Sorry, I have to do that because Miranda Stone is the queen of the Discords.
Oh, she's your mod?
Well, she's the one that taught me how to actually set up my Discord server and everything else. And she is a mod, yes.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, hi, Miranda.
Yes, Miranda Stone. And also a couple more here. Let's see. Southern Goth YouTube. Good evening. Aspie Auntie, hello. Mad Yikes on Crimson Bikes. Hello, who else is here? Yikes, it's Mama Mitchell. All right. And Bridget. Hello. Fake Gamer Cat. Hello. Chantal's Broken Toenail. Is that a Foodie Booty reference or something? I can imagine. Oh my gosh, all these people. Breechies 95. And pardon me, guys, if you have real or other names you go by, I can't see them because YouTube is screwed up again and given everybody your core names, as far as I can tell. Unless they've fixed that, have they? I don't know. Either way.
Looks like it. It's probably gone. The other names.
Yeah. Well, there's Shadowcat. And Shadowcat it usually says Shadowcat. So. Oh, and Miranda Stone. Hello, Undoomed. Big fan.
Okay, how you doing?
Yeah. Hey, how's it going? Anyway, yeah. I could talk about DEI stuff all day. I usually do. I have a whole show of it called DEI Death Watch. Shameless plug. Mondays at 12:30 p.m. Pacific Time, 3:30 Eastern. DEI Death Watch, where I chronicle the downfall and the doubling down of DEI. Anyway.
Right.
So I've got.
All right. So what about the new Star Trek show? How you feel about
Academy?
That? Yeah. How you feel about that?
Okay. Well, first off, it's Kurtzman, so it's obviously going to be a trash fire. The rumor has it, for you Adele fans out there, that the second season's already canceled before the first one's even launched because the trailer was so badly received.
Oh no. Please don't say it so.
I know. The real question is whether or not Skydance is going to actually fire Kurtzman and Bad Robot and everything, and just if they did, they'd have to buy out their contract or something, which would be a lot of money. But as far as like the show's concerned, my first, setting aside all the Kurtzman stuff and everything, when I heard they're going to have a Starfleet Academy show, I thought, okay, well, your first problem is that you've got a stationary setting, and Star Trek is about exploration and all that kind of stuff. Now, they kind of did that before with DS9, but of course they had the wormhole, so they had things come to them versus them going there, and it was kind of a Babylon 5 situation, sort of embassy kind of thing. So I thought the only way you're going to have any stories at Starfleet Academy is if it turns into absolute soap opera schmaltz, which could work, depending. I mean, if you have the right writers for a Star Trek universe, that might work.
No, it wouldn't. No. That's not what Star Trek is. I mean, I know. If you're doing a soap opera, sure, but that's not what Star Trek is.
No, it isn't.
And even going even further, this is not just people. This is teenagers, right? Yeah. So it's going to be teen drama. Like, for fuck's sake, can we just have a good Star Trek show?
Yeah, and also knowing Kurtzman as we do, at least abstractly, it'll also be heavy-handed, ham-handed messaging, diversity, equity, and inclusion, girl power this, and God knows what else, other allegories.
Well, it would be a shit ton of that, but on top of that, it'll be incomprehensible stories with completely out of left field bullshit that has nothing to do with anything, and then they'll just forget about it the next episode. Yeah. Like Star Trek Picard season 1 and 2.
Oh, man. Yeah, we were talking about that on Midnight's Edge either yesterday or this morning or yesterday. And I was like, if Picard season 3 was the only season of Picard, you might have gotten away with it. But the albatross around the neck of season 3 was the fact that you had to acknowledge season 1, season 2, and the JJ universe and everything else.
Well, the thing is, they didn't even acknowledge it in season 3.
Yeah, they kind of tried to ignore the fact. Yeah, it's like
they didn't. No. Hold on. They didn't just ignore it. I mean, they totally ignored it. There is a line in season 3 where Crusher says, nobody's heard or seen anything from the Borg in 20 years. Like, bitch, it was just in the last season and the season before that. No, they're just going to ignore it. Like, that didn't happen. Forget about that. Forget about it.
Yeah, but the problem is that they can't. They might try to write it out or badly forget their own plot line. But the success of the show itself and that series was hampered by everything that came before it.
Yeah,
because it had a bunch of nonsense.
Of course, but I think that was Terry Metallis's fuck you to Kurtzman.
Yeah, Terry Matalas. It kind of hurts to watch that because you think what could have been if they'd given him the series from the beginning instead of whatever nonsense they had before. And so I think the only hope for Star Trek is if they have to purge themselves of the Kurtzman regime as much as they can. They have to stop doing any Star Trek for like 3 years and then reboot it. Now, you've heard of Star Trek United, I'm assuming.
No, I don't think so. What's that?
Okay, so Star Trek United is purportedly a project that is going to be a sequel to Enterprise, where you go 25 years after Enterprise,
I read a headline, but go on. I didn't read the article.
So the idea, as I understand it, is that they bring back Scott Bakula to play Archer again, except now he's the president of the Federation. And you just sort of like turn back the clock, you ignore all the other stuff, and you just kind of continue on with Next Generation is canon, DS9 is canon, we're going back to the olden days, and you start moving on from there. And then the other dream project, apparently, is Star Trek Legacy, where you effectively have the old crew from Enterprise. You kind of do a continuation or soft reboot of what they were doing with Picard Season 3, and then move forward there. Now, will these things happen? It's still all rumor has it, but that's what people are kind of keeping their fingers crossed for. Unless or until Skydance clearly says, we wish Alex Kurtzman good luck on his future endeavors. Until I see that statement coming from them, I don't trust that anything Star Trek-wise coming out of Paramount Skydance is going to be not tainted with this nonsense.
No, of course not. That we're going to have to wait till we hear something. But I would trust the Bakula thing more than a new Terra Matalis thing with Legacy, because that one has already been dismissed by Kurtzman, and I doubt that he's going to just come back at a whim.
The actors aren't getting any younger. So the longer that you wait, the old crew is the old crew now. So but then of course, if we have the new Amazon project, you could just make your own Star Trek. Have you heard of Showrunner?
Nope.
Apparently, Amazon is setting up some kind of project where you, the user, can use AI to generate your own entertainment, your own shows and things. I don't know exactly how it's like your choose your own adventure kind of setup, but you effectively create a show all by yourself through the Amazon app or something. Now, of course, Amazon owns all rights to anything you create, so have fun if you make something that everybody loves. But that's apparently something that's coming up. So yeah, AI self-generated entertainment.
I want to kill myself.
Now, wait. Hold on a second. YouTube, he didn't mean that literally. Algorithms, that wasn't an actual declaration. That was a joke.
Yeah, in Minecraft.
Oh, there you go. That's the place to do it. If you're going to do it, that's the place.
Yeah.
Minecraft.
Fuck's sake. No, I do not want that. And we all know that if that was a thing that existed, which it obviously will be in, I don't know if it probably is not in the near future, but in a couple of years, that would be so guarded with all the keywords and no, you can't say that you want that. That's not okay. You want a plot with a bad guy? No, the bad guy can't be bad. What are you talking about?
Yeah, have an actual villain? No. Or have distinct moral division between good and evil? No, we can't have that. There always has to be shades of gray, as we've seen too many times.
Actually, I don't know about that. I think that Kurtzman has been very bad at showing the shades of gray. I think that was what Star Trek, like TNG and those guys did really well. Like, go back to an episode like The Measure of a Man, and they present both sides perfectly.
Sure.
And both sides present good arguments. It's not straw man arguments. right?
No. I'm not talking about moral quandary. I'm not talking about that kind of stuff. I'm talking about like in with Star Wars recently, where they say, the Force isn't good or bad, and they try to make anti-heroes heroes, or there's really not anything as evil anymore because, we're trying to blur the lines between what's good and bad because we ourselves have no moral compass, that kind of thing. No, like actual moral quandaries where you could see both sides of the argument kind of thing. A Measure of a Man, the Drumhead, that kind of stuff. Sure, that is a lost art. That is a lost art.
I think that's very useful culturally to have those kind of stories.
Yeah, because they're parables not just for what's ever happening in the current day, but just in life in general. That's why some of the stories, like you just mentioned, if you go back to Measure of a Man, we're still having those conversations, especially now with the rise of AI and everything else. But also, if you just take what was Data's plight and translate that over to anyone who is quote unquote different, is this a real human being? They're not real humans. They're they're from this strange island or something. Those questions have always come up. How do you judge consciousness? How do you assess humanity? When does a thing become a person or something?
Right, and
Frankenstein.
And they do that in Kurtzman stuff too. However, they just present a complete straw man for the other side, and then it's completely uninteresting. It's, what? Whatever, dude. Nobody cares. You have you have to present both sides with reasonable arguments. Otherwise, it's pointless, and it doesn't make a good story, and it won't convince anyone. It would only be preaching to the choir.
Yeah, and that's an element I always talk about on my shows, because when I watch someone giving a presentation, an argument or something, I always talk about how I've got the persuasive essay structure in my mind when I'm watching somebody give a presentation. I'm an English major. I have to justify it somehow. And so part of a persuasive essay is that at some point you have to acknowledge the other side of the issue, whatever it is, and you have to give at least enough due time to that side of the issue fairly that you then can, sort of counter it with your own points as you're trying to persuade. But you have to at least give the other side an honest shake. You can't just caricature them. You can't just say, I'm right because they're duty heads or something. No. It's someone, in most instances, most major topics of conversation, someone's coming at it sincerely. Even if you think that they're wrong, you have to at least acknowledge that they're coming from it, or at least assume they're coming from it to the benefit of the doubt, from a sincere place, and give that some due consideration. Otherwise, you're not going to convince anybody of anything. You're not going to change any minds, or even give someone the idea that maybe they should reconsider their position a little bit. So, it's grade school kind of argumentation. What Kurtzman does.
And that's pretty much what Kurtzman does. It was rampant in Picard season 2.
Yeah, and they don't want. I was listening to something the other day about the Chinese Revolution. It was like some documentary or something, and they talked about how they had to purge the intellectuals because the intellectuals would show or have the ability to show people the wrongness or the inefficiency or the evil of what was going on through reasoned argument. And it really feels like that's what's happened to writers' rooms over the last 10 years, is that we have to purge these places of people who actually can write because they make the rest of us feel bad and make our talents look like they're much lesser. So then we can all be around in one big circle jerk and tell each other how awesome we are and how clever we are without actually being either.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I think it all went to hell with streaming, obviously.
Yes.
And we lost the ability to have standalone episodes. And standalone episodes are what make writers really train their brains, right?
Yeah.
They get to think, okay, this week we're doing this moral quandary. Next week we're doing this comedy. Next week we're doing this. Like, they're all over the place, and they get to train their abilities every week, get better and better. If one episode is bad, So what? Next one will be better. Now it's just one continuous story, and the writers don't even seem to talk to each other. It's just, now
it's
we're
one,
here? Okay.
Yeah, it's one like 8-hour long movie with one story arc. There's no episodic. There was it just occurred to me. There was a series on Netflix back when Daredevil had come out, and Daredevil was a great season 1 and everything. And they're like, oh, we're going to do Jessica Jones. And I was like, oh, Jessica Jones, the Private Eye? Man, wouldn't it be great if every episode was a different mystery she had to tackle? Yeah, that would have been great, wouldn't it? No, it was just a 13-episode smorgasbord of nothing and
it's just
stuff.
It's just the hubris of it, the arrogance of thinking you're good enough to write a 13-hour movie. Like, I don't know any director or writer of real movies who would do that. Like, what's the longest movie that's ever been made? I don't even know, but it's obviously there's someone who's done it just for the hell of it, but some real movie. It's probably like Das Boot or something, like 4 hours.
Yeah, something like that. Probably like Lawrence of Arabia, so that kind of movie, that kind of thing. I think Lawrence is like 3.5 hours or something. But I know the longest continuous shot movie, like actual continuous shot, not like digital cuts. It was called Russian Ark, and it was I think it was like 80 minutes or something of one unbreaking shot. And it was this movie that told the history of Russia by moving through an actual museum and going to different areas of the museum that represented different periods of time in Russian history. And they had little scenes playing out in each room that were either literal historical recreations of events or exemplified historical periods of time. And they only had one weekend to be able to do this before the museum opened up again. And they rehearsed it's this gigantic project, and they rehearsed it all, and they knew they only had at most 3 attempts at this, because it was I think it was shot on film, because it was so this is back before digital and everything. And so they're like, okay, and so if they screw it up, this is all off. So they start it up, and the camera's rolling down the hallway, and then like somebody hits a door frame or something, and it throws the camera. I'm like, oh shit. And it happened within the first like hour of attempting to run. They're like, okay, so roll everything back. All the actors, everybody has to get back to their marks, and everything has to be reset. And then they start again. I think they got it right on the second try. And yeah, it's like one literal 80-minute unbroken cut all the way through a museum, through different sets and stages and people acting and everything. And of course, everything had to be ADR'd because the noise of moving through there and everything else was ridiculous. But anyway, just a piece of trivia. Anyway, but yeah, no, streaming has ruined everything because of volume, quantity over quality. The structure of streaming shows is completely wrong for storytelling. You can have, I remember old British TV shows. They'd have like a whole series would be like 4 episodes, and each episode would be an hour and a half long. But they'd still be bottle stories or isolated episodic things, even if there was a connective tissue of a sort of an overarching story arc. But yeah, I couldn't name for you a most memorable episode of anything. Like Stranger Things, it's like, wow, the first season was really great. I remember in the show when this thing happened, but it wasn't a particular episode I could name because it didn't have its own storyline. It didn't have its own point. It was just part of the one puzzle piece of the larger one.
Yeah, and it's making the writer's brains atrophy.
Yeah, and there's like you say, there's an art to telling a beginning, middle, and end story that fits within the universe, has a point, has a tale that has some kind of lesson to it, and then moves on. And then what happened to episodic storytelling? And like you say, not every episode of Star Trek Next Generation was good. There were bad episodes, but those are forgotten because, or if they're not forgotten, they're beloved for being bad in a lot of cases.
Yeah, and the writers learn something, and then you can get better.
Yeah.
Obviously, there was shit in the first season. It was all shit.
Yeah, and you know what else? You know what I've noticed, and I think Paul Chatto talked about this too, but I always noticed that a lot of times the first seasons of a lot of these shows are great, and then the subsequent seasons fall off a cliff. I'm thinking the two that come to mind are like Stranger Things, and then Penny Dreadful. If anybody ever saw Penny Dreadful, it's like, man, that first season was amazing, and then the second season was like, what the hell happened? And I think to myself, you know what? These guys came in with a really good idea, a really solidly planned out. They probably spent years on it, crafting it and everything else, and let's turn it into a series. Like, okay, and then it's like, now we want another one. Like, how do we do that? If they'd instead made individual episodes of adventures and spaced it out, or made seasons longer so they could have some more room to breathe on what the good episodes are versus the filler episodes, that kind of thing, you might have a long-term better product. But instead, it's got to be rush, binge. Ugh, slop most of the time.
Yeah, I mean, it's just about putting new posters on Netflix.
Mm-hmm. And for shows that you've never heard of before. I can't count how many times I've seen like things on Twitter that say, oh, Speed Bump Season 5 just came out, and oh my God, it's such a banger. I'm like, what the hell is Speed Bump? I've never heard of it. 5 seasons? It's been around at least 5 years? What? Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Who's paying for this? Why is there 7 seasons of this weird show? Is it really bringing in that much money? I guess somebody likes it.
I don't know. I mean, it's like, I guess we're all paying for it. Do ratings even matter anymore when they don't have ads? I don't know.
How do you have ratings with streaming stuff? They don't release their numbers half the time.
No. I mean, obviously they don't release their numbers, but obviously they know the numbers. But do they care? Because what does it matter? All they need to do is put up new posters in the fucking Netflix app. Have new things, like click on this is a new thing. Doesn't really matter if it's good or not, as long as they have a new thing to click on. Back in the day, they had to have like ratings that actually corresponded to ad revenue.
Yeah,
like, oh, we have Star Trek The Next Generation, it gets so and so many millions of views. Hey, Coca-Cola, you want to pay $1 million? Also, they used to have the pilot process where you'd like make a pilot and see if it actually tested well before you did it. These days, they rubber stamp 2 seasons of something sight unseen practically. And it's like, oh, here you go. And there's something else. I've talked about this on Midnight's Edge before. Anything. You know, one of the things that I really hate, and it's never going to, the clock will never be turned back. This is old man talk. I know the clock's never be turned back. Is the fact that there are too many sources of entertainment now, because that robs us all of a shared cultural experience. Back when there were 4 networks and movie theaters and you had video stores, and if you wanted to see something, you had very limited options for where to see it, and then everybody had something in common to talk about, a common thing that they saw. You know, if I make a reference to something that happened in Star Trek, for example, there's a whole swath of people that know what I'm talking about. If I make a reference to something that happened in Netflix trash series number 75, nobody's going to know what I'm talking about, and nobody cares anyway. Because on top of that, there's 17 billion things. It's like the old adage, you know, I turn on the TV and there's 700 cable channels and nothing to watch. Because you're overwhelmed with so many options, nothing feels like it's worth your time. Right, and retail stores have actually done research on this, and they've made like a conclusion that, I don't remember the exact number, but I think it was like, if you have more choices than 8 choices, your brain just fries, right?
Yeah, you can't split your attention or your decision making.
So if there's like 8 different coffees, you can select one. But if there's 41, you're just going to be like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, and what you'll probably do is you'll retreat back to something that's familiar, which is why Friends reruns are still the most watched thing on Netflix because everybody's familiar with Friends. Everybody knows Friends, and
Is that
harkening
true?
back to. Last I checked, I believe Friends episodes are Friends and I don't know if Suits is on there, but it was Friends and Suits were the two shows that have the most streaming rewatching numbers of all time or something. Yeah, because it's comfort food.
Suits is pretty old too, right?
Relatively. I admittedly, I've never watched a single episode.
I think
know.
I've watched the first episode and I was like, nah, it's not for me. But that has to be like at least like 15 years old, right?
Something like that. Real quick, Andy Masterson's in the chat. Andy, the Toy Master Masterson. Guys, if you don't know about Andy Masterson, go check out Andy Masterson over on the YouTubes. He makes toys and talks about comic books. I've talked about comic books with Andy Masterson. And I know he's got some things to say about Fantastic Four. Because what they've done to Fantastic Four amongst a million other things lately. Are you much of a comic book guy?
Not really. I mean, I liked comic books when I was a kid, but I just never really continued when I was an adult.
That's fine.
I guess.
I don't hold it against you.
I loved all the Dark Horse stuff with Aliens versus Predator and all that stuff.
Oh man, yeah. I've watched the first two episodes of Alien Earth now.
Okay. I'm too scared of how they'll fuck that up to watch it.
Yeah, they have. No, I love the old Dark Horse stuff. I've got collections like the original issues. I've got Aliens Rogue was my first Dark Horse exposure to aliens and the comic book stuff, and it was amazing. I got Aliens versus Predator, Deadliest of the Species, Music of the Spears. I got all types of stuff. I was a big Dark Horse Alien Predator nerd back in the day, and it just it saddens me when I think about, because I'm watching Alien Earth. I thought, okay, if I was going to do Alien Earth, and I wouldn't because it breaks continuity in so many ways, but if I were, I'd find someone who used to write for Dark Horse to help me do that, because they set up that universe and the settings and the characters amazingly well. They didn't do that for this, so it's
well, I don't know what it is with these people and prequels. Like, fuck prequels. Can you just go into the future? I don't care why this happened. Like, who cares? Go into the future.
Yeah, they have this fetish with trying to answer the questions of things that nobody needs answers to. Like,
why did Han Solo get his name?
Exactly.
I don't care.
Exactly.
I don't care.
Exactly. They try to reverse engineer these tiny little negative spaces in established canon and say, oh, how did the rebellion get the Death Star plans? And I'm like, Kyle Katarn got them in Dark Forces. We already know this. You don't need to tell that story. No. The better story is we're going to do this, and we're going to add all this other crap to it. Like, why? Why? Take the story forward. Don't take us back. We don't need to do that, and especially if you're going to try to recast Han Solo. No shade on the guy that got the job. He was offered a job, and he took it, and that's fine. But it was Disney that did it, and I was like, this is a complete waste of time.
It was filled with it was filled with so many things that I just don't think should be explained.
It doesn't enhance anything.
Like obviously a name, you don't have to explain a name. His name is just Solo. His name, I refuse to accept that his name is Solo because he doesn't have anyone. Fuck off. Yeah. His name is just Solo. Like, your name is whatever your last name is. Like, it's just what it is.
McGillicuddy.
Yeah. Whatever it is. It's just what it is.
Yeah, it doesn't need to have it. Yeah, this is, and I get it. There is some, it's always part of fan speculation and things when there's an offhanded comment about something, and like, oh, what did he mean? Like way back in the day when Luke said, "You fought with my father in the Clone Wars," and I was like, what the hell are the Clone Wars? Like, you're like, oh, what? Like, what is this? And it's never mentioned again. And you're like, what? How does that play out? And of course, Lucas decided to answer that question, for better or worse. I think some things are great with just mystique and reference. They don't need an answer. They don't need to be fleshed out, and leave it to the imagination. That's part of the fun too.
We don't need a prequel to 4th of July that goes back to fucking Vietnam. Like, come on. It's just something happened in the past. That's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. Just leave it.
Yeah, especially when it comes to fantasy worlds and things. Some things it's like just leave it mysterious. Like, you know, and here's the thing: if it is explained in pieces over time going forward in reference or people stuff, then it's something for us to discover and piece together as fans or something. We don't need like a whole movie like, well, this is why this happened. Like, okay, but yeah, the prequel with Alien, I'm just thinking. They have to bring it back to something that the fans are going to appreciate because everything they've done in the future so far. If they're trying to maintain all of the existing movies as canon, then maybe they feel penned in and there's more freedom in going to the past. I mean, like if Star Wars went back to the old Republic, right? Like the ancient stuff, then you're not hampered by the continuity of the Skywalker stuff. You can do some... I could see there being more freedom in going to the past in some instances. As long as you're telling a new story with new characters, not answering questions.
I think there's more freedom in going like 100 years after.
Sure, yeah.
Then it's
either way.
Nothing is there, right?
Yeah. The problem is that Alien has a very limited scope of stories you can tell that aren't just monsters stalking down the hallways, because that's always what Alien kind of was. You want to tell a wider story about society or the future or something else. Tom Connors talked about this on there. It's like, you know, what they're trying to do with Aliens right now, they might as well just be doing a Blade Runner series, because they're really just focusing on what does it mean to be human with all the synths and this, that, and the other. It's like, it's got nothing to do with the aliens so much.
Yeah, but they already tried that in Prometheus, and it sucked balls.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Ridley Scott totally bumfucked the entire Alien franchise with Covenant and Prometheus and all this. It's like, oh my god, dude. Yeah, but again, he was trying to go backwards to answer questions nobody needed answers to. Like, gee, where did the space jockey come from? I don't give a shit. He came from space. That's why they call him Space Jockey. That's it.
Yeah, and that motherfucker claims that he's really inspired by 2001. Like, have you heard of a mystery? Have you heard of a mystery, asshole? Like,
yeah, even 2001 didn't answer all the questions of 2001. So
no, it didn't answer most of the questions from 2001.
It's like Space Baby. What was the Space Baby? I don't know. We'll never know. It's there for your interpretation. The end.
Yeah.
Oh, Space Baby.
It's just everything is left up to interpretation.
Let me go over the chat here real quick and let's see what's going on over here. Scanner Daftly, Knights of the Old Republic would have been a way better trilogy than Mare Ray Sue. Well, yeah, like Undoomed said, either go distant past, but preferably go into the future and just say all that stuff is such ancient history it doesn't matter. You can just get away from it if you just stay within the setting. There's so much in that setting you could play with. Kirsten Scholes over on the X Machine, guys. I am simulcasting over on X or Twitter, as the case may be. So if you do see this over on X,
okay, I gotta ask you. Ask you before you check the next comment. Like, what is the point of simulcasting to X or Twitter?
Because I can. I don't know. I honestly don't know, because I have the option to. I could simulcast to this YouTube, X, Twitch if I wanted to.
I've seen like a gazillion shows show up on X, and I've clicked on them, and like I see like, oh, they're talking about that, and then I click off. I've never ever watched anything on X, and the only thing it does is prevent me from clicking on the YouTube link. So I don't understand why anyone does that.
Well, I guess, again, I kind of do it just because I can, and also on the off chance that if X ever does become a platform that people watch streaming stuff on regularly, it's there. I mean, it doesn't cause me any harm one way or the other. I don't know if it benefits me at all. I'd have to, I guess, pull my viewers.
Well, I mean,
it
like, harms you in the way that it brings you less clicks to your YouTube video, which is something you could monetize, right?
Well, given the way that YouTube does monetization these days, I'd challenge that notion. But yeah,
sure.
I don't know. I mean, if nothing else, I kind of wish I could. I do wish I could append a link to the YouTube version to the X stuff somehow. But I don't know. And as far as I know, and no offense to Kirsten Scholl at all, as far as I know, Kirsten Scholl is the only person on X that ever watches. So I have 100% of my X audience here right now.
That's awesome.
If other people watch on X, they either don't make themselves known or don't exist. Yeah.
You'll never
So
know.
and you know, if I had a bigger channel or something, maybe I'd care. But I still have my expectations so relatively humble. Like I remember when I started, I was like, you know, if I get 20 people that regularly listen to what I want to say about anything, I'll be impressed. When I hit 500, I thought that's more people than were in my graduating class of high school. That at least once they decided, hey, whatever this guy is saying is interesting enough to subscribe. Even though I know that not everybody who subscribes watches everything that you do. So the fact that anybody listens to me for 10 minutes. There's 88 people watching right now. That boggles my mind, even to this day. Even with all the numbers, you know, channels out there with millions of subscribers or hundreds of thousands of subscribers. Hey, some people would never see that in their entire lives.
Right.
You know, and I'm thankful for all of it. I'm coming up on my 9th year by October. It'll be my 9th anniversary on YouTube. And I always get sort of sentimental when that time rolls around and thinking about all that I've done and learned and the people that I've met and the friends I made along the way. And
that's what counts.
I had somebody, I was talking to one of my other YouTube friends earlier today, and I was asking how his channel was going. It's like, oh, it's going really well. And I was, how's your channel going? And I was like, oh, you know, it's plugging along for what it is. I just think of it as a glorified hobby. And he's like, no, I've lurked on some of your streams. You have a very dedicated fan base. It's like, no, I know there are people in this chat right now who have been with me for 9 years, which blows my mind.
Right.
And so I'm
awesome.
eternally grateful for that and the support that everybody's had. What has your experience been when it comes to your audience and on YouTube?
That's too wide of a question.
Too wide of a question. Okay. Have you? How should I put this? Do you concern yourself with the numbers?
Sorry?
Do you concern yourself with the numbers, like subscriber count or view time or that kind of stuff?
No.
Why not? There's so many people that do on YouTube.
I never expected anyone to subscribe to me at all. Mm-hmm. I thought that my channel would be like me and 10 buddies. Like, hey, I uploaded this video, and hey, you want to see it? And it would get 10 views. I remember when I had like 10 subscribers or something like that, and some guy in the chat was like, dude, you're going to get 1,000 subscribers. I'm like, no, stop.
Nah.
You're fucking retarded. That's never going to happen. I don't know.
No, go ahead.
I've always been very clear that this is not going to be my day job. You know,
and I think that's the
so.
differential. I think that's the differential is that I still, in my mindset, I look at this as a glorified hobby, and I have the luxury of doing that because I have a day job, and thankfully I've been employed the entire time. The people that have this as either their primary or an important source of income, I can understand why they're concerned with the numbers and everything. They get very cagey about it. And the people that are successful at it, even people that I may not agree with in how they do it, got to give them some credit. You know, hate the player, not the game, kind of thing. But I'm glad that I have the ability to be so casual about this, because I've seen, and I know people directly who have or are burning out, being concerned with the numbers and getting the views and everything, because it's become a primary source of either their income or their sense of self-worth, which I always think is a trapdoor.
Yeah, I think they're probably tied together. Also, if your primary or all your income comes from that, and also all your validation comes from that.
Yes.
It's like the only important thing in your life. and then your ego starts to bloat, right? You're the prophet of the world. You know everything. Kind of like the pirate software situation, right?
Oh,
your ego
geez.
your ego expands to ever reaching.
I had never heard of that guy until about 2 months ago when I started seeing these documentary-sized videos talking about it. And I was like, why? How? And I'm always fascinated when one individual on YouTube or something suddenly becomes a bellwether for an entire scandal, controversy, movement kind of deal. And I was like, how? What? On the one hand, I'm like, all right, how legitimate are people's complaints about this guy? And two, I don't even want to know what it must be like to be at the center of something like that. To be that guy that ends up doing the one thing that becomes a suddenly huge thing or whatever. Obviously, it's a pattern of behavior he's been doing for a long time. But also, isn't that just the way, though? This guy's got millions and millions of subscribers. He's got all this Twitch stuff. He's getting all this money. And yet, at the core of it, he's just an egocentric jerk who's not doing what he's said he would do with his game promises and all these other things and putting people down. I'm like, boy, oh boy, I wouldn't want to make that kind of money on that basis, but it always gets my goat that people become successful by being terrible people to other people. Anyway, if you don't know.
And, well, I mean, he could have probably gone on doing whatever he was doing. I mean, obviously he's been scamming people with his game, but they haven't been complaining, so whatever.
Right. Pay pigs.
Yeah, I guess. So he could have gone on with that successfully for years, but he made a huge mistake, and he refuses to this day to admit that he's wrong.
Right.
And he kept doing it, kept fucking not saying that he was wrong. He could have just nipped this in the bud the first day and like, oh, dude, okay, I was kind of stupid there. Don't worry. I see what you mean now. Like, if he did that, it would have blown over. Nobody would have cared. It was just whatever. Okay. Everyone has a bad take sometimes, whatever.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Eating crow is not an easy thing to do. It's never fun. But it is one of the most adult things you can do when you're called out on something. And not necessarily because you're being malicious or what you said or whatever. You said something that was incorrect, or you had, like you say, you had a bad take. And when someone shows you, no, you were wrong, you have to grit your teeth and you got to go, okay, I concede, I was wrong. It's never fun, but you have to do it. That's what distinguishes between, egocentric children and mature adults. Plus, here's the other thing, too. If you proceed through life allowing for the possibility that you could be wrong, just in general, and allow for people to go... Like, you'll hear people say, and I do it on here as well, if a subject comes up on a stream that I am completely ill-equipped to talk about, I'll say something to the effect of, well, if someone in the chat knows more about this than I do, please correct me. But as far as I know, ... something like that.
Right.
Give yourself an out when you don't know. Yeah.
I'm wrong all the time. That's how I eventually get to right.
Yeah. How do you refine your knowledge by not making mistakes or learning from those mistakes?
Yeah. You don't learn from being right all the time because that's not how things work.
Yeah. No one's right all the time. I always get wary of people and I'm sure people in the chat have met someone like this in their life, that somebody comes in the room and they seem like they have all the answers. They've got the best anecdotes. They know everything about everything. As soon as I meet someone like that, I am immediately wary. Yeah. Immediately wary that I've got a BS artist in front of me and probably somebody. Now, it could be the case that I am just meeting jack of all trades, worldly person who really does know stuff. Could be so. But the likelihood that that's the case versus someone that's just trying to be the center of attention.
When you hear the story of pirate software, it's like, in hindsight, like, how could you idiots believe anything he said?
Well, I guess the question is, why do people still give him any attention or money in the wake of finding out that he's a big bag of hot air?
Well,
why?
His audience has dropped to a fourth or something, but there's always normies on the internet who don't know anything about this. They just turn on their app and, oh, there's a new video from Pirate or stream or whatever. Like, they don't hang out on Twitter. They don't know, right? So that type of audience will just continue like, oh, that's my favorite streamer or whatever.
And I guess there's also something about. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
But okay, but the thing that I really that stood out to me was when he was talking about like, yeah, I've been at Blizzard for 7 years, blah blah blah, and then he's like, and then I was a hacker. I hacked nuclear power plants for the government. Like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Okay, how did anyone buy this shit? Like, okay, we know you worked at Blizzard. We know for a fact that you lied what you did at Blizzard, but fine, you worked at Blizzard, but hacking nuclear power plants? How did anyone buy that?
I think the guy's got two things going for him. It's his voice, which I got to say, he's got a great voice for radio, let's say.
Sure.
His voice, his allocution, and his sense of authority that he expresses. People can be taken in by someone that sounds like an authority figure, even if there's nothing underneath it but sand, because you don't know necessarily. This is how I can't count how many sort of like romance scams I've heard about where someone comes in and says, oh yeah, I used to work for the government, I was in the army, and then I did some covert stuff for the Secret Service, but I can't talk about that, just the way it is, that kind of thing. It's like, you can, if you find the right person, it's one of the things where it's like, the bad guy only, the bad guy only has to be right once. He can have 20 failures, but he finds the right mark that gives him his payday. That's all he needs to do. So he tells 7 lies. As long as only 1 out of the 7 buys it, he's golden. But you find that one person's willing to accept the fact or accept the story that you're this, and this, and you could carry it with enough authority and confidence that they don't know otherwise. I guess you can.
Okay, but like 20,000 people a day.
I know. Like I say, like him or
I don't know. I think that's like how much they get at Twitch, right?
Something like that. I don't know.
Something like that.
What his numbers. But that's like there's this quote unquote true crime lady that Irate Alex has been following for a while now, and apparently she pulls down $5,000 to $8,000 a month doing the most ramshackle nonsense, victim exploitative type of true crime stuff, and I'm just sitting there going like, how? What $5,000 to $8,000 a month? And like, how it never ceases to bewilder me. It's like you can't, like, honest work doesn't pay apparently, especially on the internet half the time.
I mean, I don't know what that means.
Well, she get like she does live streams where she talks about crimes that have happened or covering news coverage secondhand. And she's done a bunch of, I guess, shady stuff about sort of playing up like victims' rights or talking about victims in ways that don't quite jive with ethical behavior. And somehow people keep donating to her and watching her stuff and going for her goals of fundraising and everything. And she's drawing down some ridiculous amount of money each month. And I'm just like, well,
I mean, that's peanuts compared to Pirate Software. He was hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Oh yeah, the guy should retire right now. That's another thing I never said. If I made $5 million in a year or something doing YouTube or whatever, I'd be like, okay, I'm done. I do something else. I find something else to do. Like that was fun. I've got more money than I know what to do with now, unless I've made myself a Hassan type lifestyle that I have to keep feeding into because I've leveraged myself to $1 zillion or something. But
yeah, Hassan, holy shit. I think that there are many people in the world that are retards, and there are many and there are many people in the world, or there are less people in the world than there are retards that are evil. And there are some people in the world that are smart and evil. But I can only think of one person that is genuinely retarded and truly evil, and that's Hassan.
Wow. Yeah, no,
it's hard to be retarded and evil at the same time.
Yeah, and the success, if you want to call it, that he's had, just dumb. Like I said, with so many other figures, dumbfounds me. Like, why do people keep giving him money? What do they get out of it?
I mean, he all his views are legitimately evil, and all his takes are legitimately retarded. I have no idea how he can be famous.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's got to be the same mentality as like some girl says "hoc toi" and then she gets like an entire career out of it.
Yeah.
Like I've never understood the mechanisms lead to that.
At least that ended.
Yeah, well, yes, but if she'd just been a little smarter, she could have stretched that out for years and years and years.
Yeah, she probably could have. She fucked it up with crypto, and I've been saying this for years. Like, the minute you start shilling crypto, you're fucked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, crypto. I've never been convinced that it's ultimately anything other than just a scam. And I know there's people that made tons and tons of money off of it, but there's also people that make tons and tons of money off of scams all the time.
Of course you make money off a scam if you're on top of the pyramid.
Right,
Jesus.
Exactly. Yeah. If you're the one running it, then yeah, you're going to make the money. It's like, oh my gosh, I have so much money from crypto, and like I have to assume something shady was happening. Maybe you lucked out. Maybe you're just an innocent guy and you bought Bitcoin when it came out the day after at $5 or whatever, and then just you forgot about it, and then you loaded it up one day and like, oh my god, I'm a millionaire. Like, okay, that can happen. But the money itself feels kind of like it's phantom half the time.
Yeah, I mean,
you look
nowadays,
at CoffeeZilla things and things.
Yeah, CoffeeZilla and Logan Paul and all those fucking scams. Obviously, I do not understand why anyone would fall for this shit. Like, here's a new crypto. It's called Fuckface or whatever. Like, okay,
Fuckface coin. Hey,
it's gonna go to the moon.
Yeah, no, this is the same reason I see these documentaries about cults, especially in the modern day, and I'm thinking, okay, if we were talking 50 years ago, when the availability of information on how cults work or what people separating you from your family and loved ones will do, if you had if this is before Jonestown and all that stuff, but people that continue to end up falling into cults, falling into crypto and scams and things, Ponzi schemes and on and on and on. I'm like, okay, if you're elderly and you just don't know or something, yeah, you can be taken advantage of. My parents were almost taken advantage of by one of these scammers one time. Okay, but if you're a modern model of a modern major general or something, how the hell do you not know about how cults work or how scams work with all the information that's out there and how to spot them, or at least become skeptical enough to say, wait a second, let's double check our references before we start handing out credit card numbers or something. I don't get how with that bank of information that's available at your fingertips these days, people still fall for this stuff.
It's not even that they need to know a specific thing like that. It's like rug pulls have been happening for over 5 years now.
Sure.
Like everyone has heard of these rug pulls, and they just keep doing the same thing as soon as there's a new celebrity or influencer or something, like, here's my meme coin, and everyone's like, oh, I'm gonna buy it, it's gonna go to the moon. What? It's
no,
like
NFTs.
And
NFTs,
then and then next year or next month or whatever, CoffeeZilla is going to be like, and now it's down to 99%.
Womp womp. I've never heard a happy story about crypto. It's always some disaster, some scam.
The only happy story about crypto is guys who bought Bitcoin like 15 years ago.
Right, exactly. Yeah. If you bought Bitcoin before it was a giant thing and you didn't know any better, and you spent like $300 on your first Bitcoins or whatever, and let them sit for 20 years, and then all of a sudden you're a millionaire. Good on you. You got it on the ground when it was innocent. It's not innocent anymore. It's an absolute cesspool.
Yeah, and obviously today, if you buy Bitcoin, you could probably make some money because it keeps going up, but it's incremental. It's like you're not going to put in like $1 and then become 100 millionaire, right? Like if you put in $1 in Bitcoin in 2012, you'd probably have $1 billion today.
Yeah.
That's how much that shit has gone up. But that's never going to happen ever again.
And it just engenders gambling addictions in people. Although they try to call them like, oh, no, I'm an investor in something. It's like, no, you're a gambler.
Yeah.
And I understand that stocks and things are also games of chance effectively, but not as much as Bitcoin is because they're just like controlled little... and they have no value. They have no value except what you put into them. And it's like, where could I use Logan Paul's crypto coin? For what? Could I buy a loaf of bread with it easily?
No.
In any way, shape, or form? What are these things for? Oh, it's nothing.
No. I mean, sure, Bitcoin still has a value because we've decided it has a value, so it keeps going up a little bit all the time. But
isn't there a limited number of Bitcoins? Isn't it like mathematically speaking, isn't it supposed to like peter out at some point? Like there's a finite number of Bitcoins. Yeah, and doesn't that mean that the economy of Bitcoin eventually will stop because then everybody will have all the Bitcoins that there are and nobody else can get any?
Yeah, but that means they will become more valuable in theory, right?
They're like collector's items at that point.
Yeah, I guess. So that's fine. I mean, I think Bitcoin is fine. It is the alternative currency. Fine. Okay. But all these fucking meme coins that every single one of them, there's hundreds every day being launched. And all of them go from whatever the value is to 99% down.
And yet somebody has invested in them before it drops.
Yes.
Somehow, some way. So if we were less ethical individuals, you could launch the Undoomed coin, or the Welcome Back coin. There you go, Welcome Back.
Yeah, that's what they do.
Yeah, you could make plenty of money in like a 24-hour period, and then like, oh, sorry guys, that's just the way the cookie crumbles. Goodbye.
and that's what they do.
Yep.
That they just say that. And
what's the consequence? What's the consequence? Like CoffeeZilla says, crime is legal now, and it's like, yeah, I mean, except for like the big ones like Sam Bankman-Fried or something, which wasn't really a crypto scam specifically. It kind of was. It was more of financial moving around fraud. Do we see much prosecution?
I don't know if there is any law against crypto scams on the books, really. I mean, like you said, Friedman got caught for basically bookkeeping shit, right?
Yeah, he was borrowing money he didn't have from other places, and
and cooking the books and all that shit. So technically, I guess it is legal.
A law unenforced.
Just highly immoral.
Yes, well, at least highly immoral. If it isn't illegal, it should be, and if it is, it's.
I don't think it is illegal because obviously, if it was, the FBI would crack down on idiots like Logan Paul and shit.
See, not to bring it back around, but a law that's unenforced is a law that doesn't matter. And so, like with DEI, Title VII violations have been going on for 20 years, but because the EEOC and the Justice Department Civil Rights Branch don't actually do anything meaningful to companies that do this stuff, they just keep doing it because, Puxatawny Phil looks around for his shadow, doesn't see it, and keeps going.
Okay, but that's completely different because there's a social stigma to that. If someone nails a crypto scammer, nobody's going to be like, "Oh my God, that hurts black people." That's
Well, I don't know. It depends. What's the name of the coin? Is it the Black Lives Matter coin? Don't you understand that this crypto coin is for the betterment of our community, etc.,
Right.
to the well-being of brown bodies? Undoomed. Geez, if you spike this coin, you're hurting black people. Yeah, the black and brown bodies. Undoomed. Jeez.
Oh my God. Are they nice, those bodies? Are they nice bodies?
Well, I mean, the beauty is in the eye of the beholder, Undoomed. And you have no eyes, so you can't tell.
They're hippos, aren't they?
Oh, now, hold on. Are you not being body positive, Undoomed?
No.
Are you trying to promote thin privileged?
Yes.
Thin privilege, Undoomed? Oh my, guys. Jeez Louise. Undoomed, the least woke person on the internet.
Yes.
Okay, well, that's the end of the story, everybody. Undoomed. Unwoked.
Yeah.
There you go. I got a
Unwoked.
new channel. Unwoked. Start a new series called Unwoked. Go back to your old videos and see how they've stood up against the test of time to current thinking.
Well, I'm sure the humor will be cringe.
Oh yeah. But that's what we like. We like cringe. It's entertaining sometimes. Unless it's like that sort of like secondary embarrassment thing, like videos where I know or suspect that somebody's like going to propose to their girlfriend or something, and she's going to like drop them. Like, I get that actual like physical tightening, like oh no, you feel like embarrassed on behalf of somebody, that kind of thing.
Oh, you mean when she denies it?
Yeah, when she denies it or something, the guy's left hanging, like
oh my god,
that kind of thing. Yeah, because it's a weird line between cringe and Schadenfreude. So like, yeah, when I see a guy that is going to be like, he's going to be let down, you're like, and then you see like the two people that got caught cheating at the Coldplay concert, and you're like,
Yeah, that's Schadenfreude.
That was great. The thing was, it was pure Schadenfreude, because there's some people mistake Schadenfreude for something bad happens to someone I don't like, and like no, it's not quite the same. If lightning strikes the house of your worst enemy and their house burns down, I wouldn't consider that legitimate Schadenfreude. It's when they are brought down by their own choices and actions, not by some random event or something. So when someone's caught cheating, yeah. If someone's dog gets hit by a bus, no. If you're going to take pleasure in someone's tragedy over something like that, like no. But yeah, the Coldplay thing was the purest form of Schadenfreude for everybody because it was non-political. Everybody could join in.
If I could interject, I think that may be an Americanism that we put onto that word. In reality, Schadenfreude means the joy of harm.
Yes, no, I know. I admit this is my interpretation of what is legitimate versus illegitimate Schadenfreude. I think that there's a sense of ethicality to my taking pleasure in someone's downfall. That it is more pure and more legitimate if it is brought about by their own bad choices and decisions.
I think it's still Schadenfreude if they didn't deserve it. If you take pleasure in their misery, it's Schadenfreude. Mm-hmm. Even if they didn't deserve it at all. The Schadenfreude is that you take pleasure in their harm. Right?
Yes, it is a form of sadism. It is a form of sadism,
yes,
certainly.
Yes.
But like I say, I'm trying to err on the side of angels here by making my Schadenfreude ethical. That's all I'm saying. Oh,
ethical
also,
Schadenfreude. Okay.
Yeah, ethical Schadenfreude. Ebony Williams is here. Hey, Ebony, how's it going? Nice to see you. Anybody else to see? Not Z3PO. Hello.
Not Z3PO.
Not Z. I mean, so wherever Z3PO is, this is not that.
That's
Z3PO.
not the guy.
Yeah. Aspie Auntie, did I say hello? Oh, hello. Dom O'Leary is here. Hi, Dom O'Leary. I can recognize some people by their avatars because YouTube has taken their chosen names away. So
that sucks.
Yeah, it keeps going back and forth. Like it was like that for a while, and then they fixed it, and then went back again. So heaven only knows what YouTube is doing.
Okay, so I'm gonna write in the chat. To see if my name is my real name or not.
Yeah. Experiment. Also, guys, by the way, speaking of algorithm changes, if you did not already know, YouTube is changing how streams and videos are viewed. If you do not interact with a video or a stream, just watching it does not count or will not count the same in the near future for the channels. You have to at least like or leave a comment, otherwise your viewership isn't real as far as YouTube is concerned. So if you haven't already...
Sorry, can you say that again?
So YouTube in the near future, if not already, what happens is if I watch a video, it may show that an additional view has happened. But for the sake of promoting the video in the algorithm, views alone will no longer have the same or any weight as they did previously. Now, unless there is also engagement, the engagement will be weighted more than simple viewership. So if a video has 5,000 views, but only 20 likes, those extra 5,000 views mean practically nothing. But if it had 5,000 likes and 5,000 views, then that video will have a better chance at hitting in the algorithm or be monetized better or something like that. So I've been telling people, like, I appreciate you guys showing up and I appreciate your viewership, but YouTube wants
hit that like button.
Yeah, YouTube wants me to tell you to hit that like button, or if you're watching this in the future, do that and leave a comment, because apparently that will, I don't know how it helps me. I haven't seen but I'm told it does. But also at the same time, for those people out there who are my friends in YouTube, I want to at least alert people here that it's not just me. Anybody you watch, any content creator that you like, if you want to help them out, apparently now you have to at least take the action of hitting the like button for sure, because that's going to become like a requirement, I guess. So anyway, just on a side. But yes, you are Undoomed 1.
Yeah.
Are there more of you? Are you numbered like clones or something?
No, because there's like some guy with 2 subscribers that stole my name, so I had to put in something, right?
Now, how did you get the check mark? I've been on here 9 years. I don't have. Is it like you have to hit a certain subscriber count to get that?
No, I think it's like if you have 100,000, you could just ask them. That's what
okay.
I did.
I see.
When I got 100,000, I emailed them and was like, "Can I have it?" And they're like, "Yeah, sure."
Oh, okay. Well, lucky you. You look so official, like a little check mark. You have validation right there. You're an official person.
Yeah,
you're higher on the totem pole.
But it's fucked up that you don't get to have your real name.
Yeah, it's something that it's some switch that they
just
flip on and off.
That was just my address, right?
Mm-hmm.
If that's gonna be my name everywhere, I want my real fucking name. I'm the only one who's ever been Undoomed who's posted videos.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care that this fucking guy with 2 subscribers stole the name.
Yeah, I when a new social media platform or something comes out, even if I know I'm never going to use it, I usually go make an account just to sort of like lock in my name on the off chance it'll become useful later. So I have a Blue Sky account that I never use, but I have.
Yeah, sure. But yeah. I had Undoomed before anyone had Undoomed on YouTube. But then someone else registered like just a little channel that they use for watching videos, probably just, right?
Yeah.
And then they got assigned at Undoomed.
Oh, I see.
And when the thing came up for me, like, hey, you have to choose an at now. I'm like,
right.
Yeah, I want at Undoomed. No, that's taken. But this guy, like, what?
You see, everybody, Undoomed was Undoomed before it was cool, just so you know. Undoomed hipster. Yeah, I was lucky enough that nobody else had mine, so I got mine on the first show. It's a little thing for your ego, your sense of identity.
It is what it is.
Do you think, now, I know that your YouTube channel isn't your end-all, be-all, but obviously with that little anecdote, you do have a certain level of ownership and sense of attachment to your online persona. Mm-hmm. Are you a different person online and presenting videos and stuff than in real life? And I don't mean like you're a separate personality or you're putting on a show or something, but do you feel like I feel far more comfortable speaking publicly in this mode than I probably would in real life. You know, so the anonymity of it. I'm not in front of a bunch of faces, that kind of thing. I feel like I'm far more sociable here than I would be otherwise. Do you find that to be the case for you here, or are you just the same guy in any situation?
No, I would say that probably I'm different in live streams compared to my videos, because here in a live stream, I'm pretty much the way I am. But in videos, I try to ham it up and play it up and, make it sound funny or whatever. In real life, I'm more like on a live stream, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I know I'm a bit more. Yeah. Go ahead.
I just want to make my videos entertaining. I remember when I started out and I watched videos and I came across videos that sounded really interesting with the title, and in theory they had good things to say, and they were like, "Hello, my name is Daniel, and I'm going to talk about this thing." And I'm like, holy fuck, I got to be more energetic. This is bullshit. I'm never watching this guy again. When I make my video, I got to be like, got to get some fucking energy in here.
Yes, there is an element where, and this is, I guess this is where I was going, is that in real life, in public or in social situations with real people, I never feel the same kind of showmanship reflex that I have here, because obviously it's not necessarily required of me elsewhere. But I've definitely, I think, gained some insight to myself, or if nothing else, and how to try to be entertaining and engage the audience, and also entertain. I mean, my first priority is, am I entertaining myself? Do I find this interesting? Is this worth talking about? Am I having fun? Because if I'm not, then it's like, let's do something else or whatever. I try not to get too caught up. And I think this is what delineates between a sincere entertainer and someone who's got some issues, is whether or not you're overly worried about what people are going to think about you, or trying to please your audience, versus first making sure that you're feeling good about what you're doing. Does that make sense?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm not interested in something, I just sort of zone out. I can't. I mean, it happens sometimes when you're on streams where there's like 6 people and they just go off in a direction where you're just like, I don't care. And
right.
Just like, I'm going to check my email, whatever.
Yeah, I always counter that, like when I'm on and this happens to me, a confession to those of you that also watch me when I'm on Midnight's Edge. I am an absolute dolt when it comes to the inner workings of box office numbers and Hollywood inside baseball information sometimes. And so I'll sit there going like, I have nothing to contribute because I'm a moron at this stuff. So I'm just going to be quiet until somebody says something that I can contribute to. And then I feel like maybe I shouldn't be here. I get that sort of imposter syndrome thing going on. It's like, I appreciate that I'm here. I can't tell you how cool it is to be talking to people who I used to watch as just a viewer, but I am really the stowaway on the pirate ship. Do I belong here? That kind of thing.
Well, they obviously, since they keep inviting you back, you do.
I think they're taking pity on me. I think they feel sorry for me. That's what it is. That's what I tell myself.
It's a business. It's a business.
Oh, it's a business. Oh, it's a business. Okay.
Yeah.
I bring all the milkshakes to the yard. All right.
Yeah.
Let's see. By the way, I just want to make sure I get this in here. Random American. Been commenting for a while now. Wondering if Scribe even sees it. I do. I see you, Senpai. Also, Reaper 2172. YouTube has made a point to make as many bad decisions as humanly possible. Yeah, unfortunately, YouTube is run by fucking morons half the time.
Yeah, I do not know how many times I have to hit that button for like, I'm not interested in shorts, but every week
no kidding. Oh God,
it keeps coming back every week, and obviously it doesn't matter how many times I press it, it's never going to learn. It's just going to keep bringing up shorts. I do not care. Fuck off with the shorts.
You know what?
I'm not 13 years old. I don't want 13-second videos.
2 things that I loathe about YouTube. The first one is, and this happens all the time, is like, a video come up about, like, what was it the other day? It was some interview with the cast of Firefly, about why the show ended or whatever. And it's like a minute-long video, and I watch it, haha, okay. And then it's like, oh, you like Firefly? Here's nothing but Firefly videos forever in your recommends. I'm like, no, it was just one click. I don't care that, oh my God. And so now I'm just like blocking channels. Like, no, I don't care about this stuff, whatever else. And the other thing that really bugs me is the obvious connection between whatever I'm searching on Google or something, and then suddenly that same topic magically appears in my feed. Like, I made a joke today where somebody on Twitter had posted a screenshot of an article about a men's cuddling club. And they said, from 1 to 10, how gay is this? And so what I did was I went on to Google and I looked up a photo of Liberace. And I took that photo and I posted it to the thread and I said, rated Liberace. And then I just went over to, and then about 10 minutes later, went over my YouTube channel, everything. And suddenly, for no reason whatsoever, it's like, Liberace's concert at the Met or something. What? No. No. There is no way that suddenly YouTube randomly decided to recommend a Liberace concert to me. It's so creepy. It's like I do one search for an image and now suddenly it's in my, like, no, go away. Just don't. I will look up what I want to look up, and if you see me click on 7 Firefly videos within a day's time, then sure, okay, I must be a Firefly fan. If you see me actively searching for Firefly videos, sure, but clicking on one video should not suddenly change the entire landscape of what I'm being recommended. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that happens. If you're researching something you're gonna oppose, suddenly you have a gazillion of those videos that are for that thing. Like, fuck off.
It's like, no. Aren't we supposed to be able to curate this stuff better? Their algorithms are like all wonky and stuff. They keep changing them. Anyway, I can complain about YouTube all day. And yet, and here it is, we're still on it. Because it's the only game in town.
It is. There's all these rumbles, I guess, and stuff.
They're trying. They always try. Yeah.
Every time I see someone post a link, I go there and it's like, there's always a problem. Yeah. Oh, I can't go back to the beginning? What? Okay.
Oh, yeah, with Rumble and stuff. Yeah, you can't scan back until it's done.
I was like, okay, but what's the point then? I have to be there the exact moment. Is this radio now? I don't get it.
Yeah. There's so many competitors out there. I mean, I think I've done like 3 Twitch streams in my entire. I have a Twitch account. I never use it. It just seems like an alien landscape to me. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not gaming on it. I'm not gaming, so it's like, okay. Well,
I've never even bothered because I figured I'd get banned the first day anyway.
Yeah, I'm gonna say the wrong thing at the wrong time.
At least you could be a little bit edgy on YouTube. At the most they're going to give you a community strike, but on which they're going to fucking ban you.
Yeah, no, the people I feel the most sympathy for, and I'm biased obviously, is my friends in the true crime community, because they are, especially the guys that do that as part of their living, is that they have the wrong word in there. If they say the S word or the R word, they have to come up with all these euphemisms for things like, oh, he then...
Okay, but what the fuck are they doing on Twitch?
No, I'm not talking about Twitch. I'm talking about YouTube. YouTube is zapping their monetization if any of these words are spoken on their videos. So they have to come up with, they have to blank out the word.
I have no idea what they're talking about. I swear like a sailor in my videos. I haven't been demonetized for years. There is something about if the algorithm picks up that you're a true crime channel, that you have a channel that has a regular feeding of potentially controversial material or violent material, you end up in some kind of bucket that some people don't if you're just a commentary channel or something. I don't know how it works. I don't know the alchemy behind it. But if the wrong word is said, you talk about... Yeah. Did you see that new article?
I've seen several articles about what?
No, okay. So that's stupid. That was stupid. But there was an article from YouTube that said that they are now no longer going to enforce the rule that you can't swear within 7 seconds. You can just open up a video by swearing as much as you want. Just go fuck.
Yeah. Welcome to the fuck show, everybody. It's time to fuck with the fuck show. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. Hey,
So-
that was really holding me back. I got to tell you guys, when I start a stream, if I'm not cursing in the first 7 seconds, I lose it. Okay, whatever.
Yeah, then you know it's a bad stream.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Now, I try to keep my streams as much as possible. Sorry, apologies to those of you. As family friendly as possible, because
Well, I'm sorry.
cussing.
I'm sorry. I'm here.
I know. You're the Al swear engine of this territory.
Yeah.
No, it's fine. I'm not that much of a prude. But
I just like sailor talk. That's all.
have you watched Deadwood before?
Yes, of course.
Oh God, yeah. I'm rewatching it for like the third time, but for the first time with a friend of mine who's never seen it before. And in the first 2 episodes, she was like, "I don't understand what anybody's saying or what's going on." But then, of course, you start to get the rhythm of this Old West Shakespearean type writing that they do in that show, and then it starts making sense. Yeah, David Milk was an absolute genius.
Then you get Al Swearinger's beautiful pronunciation of cocksucker.
Yeah, cocksucker when he's talking to Mr. Wu, and it's like Swidgen, cocksucker. Yeah, I know, cocksucker. No, now who did it? Wu? No, who did this? Wu didn't do it. Like, oh my God, it's great. That show is so good, and I'm reminded by it by just how its excellence. Anyway, but I'm reminded, and I don't know why this occurred to me. I was complimented. Do you know Culture Casino on YouTube? Are you aware of Culture Casino?
Sure.
Okay, so yeah, I popped into his chat the other day to say hi, and he was trying to plug my wares, as it were, and he said Scribe has an amazing vocabulary. I'm jealous of his vocabulary, and I'm like, amazing vocabulary, and I thought about that, and I wanted to ask you, because you are quite eloquent and you have an amazing voice for radio. Where do you come by, or have you made any particular effort in your vocal expression? Have you taken classes for that? What do you think about expanding your vocabulary in general, that kind of thing? Because you've attracted people. I think one of the attractive things of you is obviously not your good looks, because obviously you have them. But definitely your voice and your expression, is that something that just came, is that just you, or is it something that you've crafted over time consciously?
Well, I mean, I've always had this rule for myself that when I don't understand a word, I look it up in a dictionary. And back in the day, before you had like Google, you had to go get the fucking dictionary and actually look it up.
Actually, the Dewey Decimal System.
Yeah. And I always do that to this day, and I try to repeat it in my mind. So I learn the new word, because there's always a gazillion words that you've never heard before.
Sure.
So if I don't know if I have a great vocabulary, I have no idea. But if that is so, that is because I always try to look the new word up, and I always try to repeat it a bunch of times in my head and try to spell it in my mind so I will remember it. As for my voice, I don't fucking know. I mean, it's just how I sound.
Yeah, I figured. I didn't think you were like. I know there was a guy in my life who had I forget if it was like a birth defect or some kind of injury, but his natural voice had been skewed high, like a very high pitched. And he practiced, because it made him stand out so much that he practiced lowering his tone, sort of like how Elizabeth Holmes kind of did, except he did it because it was sort of necessary to feel like he was part of the rest of the people and everything. And I never knew about this for like the first 2 years I knew the guy, until he started talking about it. I was like, so what do you really sound like? And then he just kind of it was like a light switch flipped, and it suddenly sounded like a cartoon character.
Wow.
And I was like, I can't even imagine the amount of concentration you must go through to constantly register your voice down to the point where I never even wouldn't have known. If you hadn't said anything, I would have no idea. It's like your natural voice is like,
this is a guy you knew in real life?
Yeah, no, this is a guy in my social group. Yeah, I forget exactly how it came about, but like one day we're just talking about, I think we're talking about like doing a Jaws kind of comparing injuries kind of thing. He's like, oh yeah, I got hit in the neck or something when I was a kid or whatever, and it screwed up my vocal cords and whatever, and my voice is all crazy. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And then he just kind of like, you just saw his throat kind of relax a little bit, like you see the muscles, and he just starts talking like this, and it's like, it's not like Mike Tyson or something on helium. And I was like, what the hell? And I was like, are you doing a cartoon voice? He's like, no, that's my natural voice. Like, okay. And then he was just like, and then he started talking normal again. I was like, and you do that every day, yeah? It blew my mind. And so when I hear people like really practice like golden throats and things, I think, okay, is that not to say that it's like illegitimate voice or something, but is it like your show voice or something? Because I've met people who have show voices versus like their regular voices. But for me, I get the thing that started off for me was the Ken Burns Civil War documentary. You ever see that or bits and pieces of it way back in the day?
Well, I mean, I've seen a bunch of Ken Burns documentaries.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've seen that one in particular, but maybe. Either
way, one of the narrative devices of that documentary is that they have celebrities reading Civil War letters as part of demonstrating or telling the story of this particular event, and the letters can come from high dignitaries or newspaper articles or oftentimes just normal soldiers. And when I would hear these things as a kid, I was so taken by the poetry and the elegance of language, even from people on the low end of society and class up to the high end. It was just something about written communication and how language was used to paint a picture or explain a situation, and it was so alien to me because I never heard people talk like that or communicate like that today, and so I got sad. It was like, one of the best mechanisms of a good post-apocalyptic story is if while you're watching it or reading it, you feel a sense of loss, because that's what you have a sense that something great has been gone to dust, and it's a tragedy. Right. And so whenever I watch clips of that, or I used to watch it way back in the day, I feel I feel sad that we have lost that ability to communicate to one another, and also in the art form of it. And so after I watched that a couple of times, and I thought, well, I'm going to make a promise to myself. I'm going to do my best to be a better communicator and use more flowery language and stuff. I don't claim to be an expert, but I just sort of like made that decision that I'm going to find a way to at least emulate that which I think is something that we need more of, is to communicate better. I like I say, don't call myself an expert or nothing, but if that's where it comes from, that's what I do. And so I'm always interested in how people like learned their way of expressing themselves, especially in a medium like this, where most of the time you can get along with an avatar and not having to show your face.
Well, I mean, if it is kind of stupid the way we express ourselves now. It's just like, hey, what the fuck, dude? LOL.
Yeah, you for the letter U for the word you. Texting culture, like when texting and everything was first coming out or first really being used back in the early aughts or whatever, I was just like, oh, I always typed in full sentences, full words, and people always just like give me all little bits and pieces and all this like hieroglyphics and things. Like, oh my god. And I don't even know. I don't even understand emoji culture right now, like all the different symbols and what this is supposed to mean versus that.
Well, emoji culture is out.
Oh, is it? Is it out now? It's out this year. Okay,
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, not this year, but it's been out for some time. Like only boomers use emojis. So
Darren M is the spokesperson for What You Should Do, Guys. Hit that like button and share. By the way, I forgot to mention, all of Undoomed's particulars, his YouTube channel, his Patreon, his X, all that stuff is in the description below. So if you're not already subscribed to YouTube, you don't know about Undoomed, if you subscribe to YouTube, subscribe to Undoomed, check it out in the description below. And yeah, if you are interested in my channel, and I wouldn't be offended if you're not, I understand. I have a very niche kind of set of specials that I do. But if you are, you can subscribe. And also, be sure to hit that bell. Make sure you get all the notifications if YouTube decides to give them to you. All that good stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Darren.
There's no point in subscribing if you don't hit the bell.
Exactly. What's the point then? It adds to my ego, I guess. I get the numbers I get.
Yeah.
But yeah, the lost art of language and just communication. Also just the lost art of entertaining an idea without having to accept it. Where everybody is, I remember, and this is calling back to the ancient times again, people would like be driving speakers off of campuses because we can't have that conservative voice on this campus. It'll somehow ruin our brains, or, they'll say muad'Dib and our heads will explode or something. If you don't listen to someone, even if you disagree with them, you'll never know exactly why you disagree with them. And you might even have your mind changed. It's a crazy idea.
Well, that's the danger, isn't it?
That's the danger, yeah. You can't have your mind changed. You can't allow for the possibility that you could be wrong or that you could learn something.
No, that would be very dangerous.
Mm-hmm. Dangerous.
Dangerous.
And that's what we need more of. We need to have civil discussion and polite disagreement again.
Well, I mean, we used to have that. I'm trying to think when that became haram, but I guess it's like in the 2010s.
Yeah, it was around. I think it was around the time where, and I don't want to put all the eggs in one basket, but I think it was social media. I think it was the tribalism that rose up around that, with chat rooms and people having, sort of these self-constructed echo chambers that they could escape into. And certainly now it's a driver of money and influence and everything. And if you get everybody in line, then they do this one thing. Everybody's a flash mob for an immediate thing. Coney 2012, everybody, that kind of stuff.
It's not really about supporting your cause anymore. It's about supporting your favorite corporation.
Well, it's about supporting your favorite corporation, or it's about not feeling left out, not feeling like you're the pariah as well. Like if you're on side, then you have your friends. If you stray off the path, suddenly you're rejected. I mean, when people start, investing their entire sense of... Yeah.
Could you imagine going back to like 2008 or whatever, when they had Occupy Wall Street and explaining today's culture where everyone hinges their political beliefs to a corporation?
Yeah, exactly. If you think about it for a second, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But they've successfully turned it around by making the corporations the sources of virtue signaling. Like, here's our pride flag for the month. Also, we are endeavoring to improve the world through our diversity. We're doing what Donald Trump won't, guys. Donald Trump is a big racist. Us, the corporations, are doing the moral thing now by reintroducing racial hierarchy.
and here is our Saudi Arabian profile.
Oh boy, yeah, a roof. I won't go any further than that.
But you don't even have to go that far. It's just in any other profile around the world, nothing happens. But on the American profile, it's like, oh my God, here's the rainbow.
Well, I mean, we have an ingrained sense of ourselves as leaders of the world, right? I mean, and because there is some reasonable basis for that. Greatest Generation, the airlift, the good that we used to do, the kind of moral lighthouse that America once kind of was, as compared to a lot of countries with our Constitution and our rights and freedoms and everything, and but of course that can be corrupted if you start going down these completely nut job ideological avenues, but you still call yourself the moral center point for the world and believe that that is what you're actually doing. You can buy your own press effectively.
Yeah, there's that, but also we're not doing that anymore. So
no,
okay,
no, but and that's the thing. It's like I mentioned this the other day. We're suffering from abundance. Like we don't have the same kind of hardships that like my parents had or my grandparents had. Necessity is the mother of invention, and necessity is also the mother of priority. And in relative terms, America specifically and people within it are so much better off and have access to so much more things than they ever did. It's not that I wish some kind of cataclysm to come down to remind us all about what's important in life, but the fact that we haven't had something like that kind of unifies us since, say, 9/11, and that was completely misused for evil ends by the end of it. I'm not sure how we could get back to a point where we have to reassess our priorities without something terrible happening. And I don't wish that to happen, but I don't know what the other option could be.
No, I don't either. That's pretty much the only thing that can unite a people.
Yeah. I guess we'll just have to wait for more Coldplay affairs to make that happen. Angela Arriaga, hello. And let's see. Oh, and Miranda Stone is pimping your game, yo. Kingslayer Damocles, pimping your game. Do you not understand that phrase?
No.
She's promoting your channel.
Oh, I missed your tweet there.
Oh, there you go. Let's see. There you go.
I'm going to call everything a tweet now.
Yeah, sure. Whatever. Tweet, chat, thing. We should come up with a new vernacular for all this stuff. We need to come up with better words for these things.
I don't know. I like tweet. That was a fine word. Why did you have to destroy that, Elon?
Yeah, one little syllable, and it told you everything, and it was. And the thing is that for any tweet, it is about as important as the actual chirping of a bird, and just like You know, I mean, I don't, except unless you're super duper famous or you're somehow revealing some crazy information. I don't think, and I say this for even for my own stuff. Like I just shit post basically most days, or I'm just joking around or trying to be a smart ass.
Of course.
Do tweets actually change things?
No, it's just a bunch of people standing around with their own megaphone.
Yeah. Now, the ease of communication that Twitter can provide for reporting on things as they happen with people that are there or exchanging information, I think that can be valuable, depending. It can also open up to a whole bunch of nonsense and, incorrect information. I won't say misinformation, incorrect information by people sort of like getting too trigger happy with what they're saying at a particular time.
Sure.
But there's a utility to it, I suppose, in spreading out, like especially like if an emergency has happened, like breaking news or, this kid is missing in this area or something like that. Right. But otherwise, it's just a bunch of noise.
Right.
People get caught up in it too much.
Could you hold on for a second?
Sure.
Gotta just go and powder my nose.
That's fine. I have some practice at doing this all by myself. Speaking of which, what else is here? Oh, You're Ridiculous Lunatic. Hello. Yeah, guys. Well, this is just sort of the Friday night stream of consciousness stream with Undoomed and I. Hope everybody's doing well this evening. What else is going on? I don't know. Should we find? I don't know. Should we find an actual topic, guys? Like an article or something, or should I try to pull a video out from somewhere? Or I don't know that I want to subject Undoomed to a TEDx or something. God knows I have enough of them in my library now, short and long. I've got a 5-minute one: Shades of Discrimination, Overcoming Colorism. Or what else do I have? How Inclusion Increases the Bottom Line. I'm sure that's true. Why do people vote for the far right? And then, of course, the one that I came up with the other day, How I'm Fighting Bias in Algorithms. That one's only 8 minutes long. Anyway, potential previews for double or triple features in the future. I've had Undoomed on for at least one TEDx before, so it wouldn't be the first time, but I don't know if this is the right time for it. Enjoy is a mini Splendor thing when it comes to TED and TEDx talks. Going on script doctoring time soon. I don't know that I've ever been on Script Doctor's channel. Have I been on his channel before? I assume I must have been. I've had him on a couple of times. And I wanted to have him on a while back because there was a... what was her name? Gina Davis of the Gina Davis Institute. Never mind her roles in movies. Gina Davis gave some talk about her work in reshaping television writing through her institute's work and the metrics of gender equity and roles and scripting and things. And I was curious to have him on to talk about that, but that was a long time ago now, and it's probably irrelevant after several changes in Hollywood. So anyway, long answer to your short question. I don't know.
Hello.
It hasn't come up. Hello. Welcome back. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Oh, Have you done any actual professional voiceover work for anything?
Yeah, a couple of times.
Okay.
It just pays really badly, so it's like.
Seems like you do good like villain voices or something if someone needed you for a video game or
I guess I guess if you got like that kind of voiceover for a person in a story, maybe that pays better. But I've just done like commercials, and it's just it doesn't pay much, so it's like whatever. I'm not gonna.
See, I guess you're doing radio ads or something. It's like, monster truck rallies or something. It's like Sunday at the Superdome.
Yeah, exactly. I've done things like that, but I just never thought it was all that worth pursuing.
You do any impressions?
No.
At all?
Not really.
Oh, okay.
Can't think of any impressions. I'm really bad at that.
Okay. Yeah, we're down to stupid human tricks, everybody. We've reached David Letterman levels on this broadcast.
What do you have any impressions you do?
Well, I can do, I'm told, a passable Kermit the Frog.
Okay.
It's not easy being green. Hello, Piggy. Oh, Piggy's mad. And I can do either it depends on my intonation. It's either a Bullwinkle or a Barney. So it's like, gee, Rocky, where are Boris and Natasha?
All right.
And other than that, I think that's all I've got in my bag.
Yeah, I've never done anything like voice acting like that. I've done voiceovers. Right?
Okay, yeah, no, I not so much. Like as I age, my vocal cords aren't nearly as supple as they used to be. But when I was a kid, I could, I can talk like Elmo. Hello, everybody. Would you like to be my friend? That kind of thing.
Well,
I could maintain that much longer.
Apparently, you still can.
I still can. It just the stamina required to keep it going for more than a couple of beats or two is has kind of left me at this point.
Yeah. So no, I've just done like voiceover stuff, like for commercials. And
speaking of commercials, it is fortuitous that you say that because my friend Satsu 2 Cents is on here now. And guys, I don't know if you know about Satsu 2 Cents, but Satsu 2 Cents, well, he likes to cook. And he also has an entire line of spices, guys. This is my friend Satsu, a.k.a. Chef Tyrone, founder, owner, and CEO of Oishi Fried Chicken, LLC, featuring a new line of signature spice mixes. Chef Tyrone's homemade blends are the perfect gateway to delicious fried chicken or any other protein you might prefer. These recipes were painstakingly tested in Tyrone's home kitchen to bring you all the fantastic flavors you and your family can enjoy. The current flavor lineup includes original, spicy, lemon garlic herb, barbecue rub, and taco seasoning. You can buy individual packs of your favorite flavors or save some money with a variety bundle, all through the online store. And Oishi Fried Chicken ships nationwide. Go to www.oishifc.com and order today. And by the way, guys, Satsu has now started bottling his spices in those professional little, like, spice bottles. They look
oh
like...
my God.
I know. All he has to do is start, like, sneaking them onto shelves at grocery stores and start, like, a whole campaign. But, yeah,
awesome.
no. Yeah, that's a legitimate thing, guys. Check out Oishi Fried Chicken and the spices. But hi, Satsu. Hope you're doing well.
Oh, he's in the chat?
Yeah, Satsu's in the chat. Yeah, he's, well, I mean, I don't know what his real name would be, but his @ name is Let Him Cook. 08. I assume it's also Let Him Cook. Yeah.
Okay.
Hey,
how you doing?
Yeah, Satsu, the veteran of Lords of the Night from back in the olden days.
Yeah, I've talked to him on some stream with Renting Monkey.
Yes, Renting Monkey. The Old Guard.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was coming up on 9 years, and I remember when I started, there was like a little fraternity of us that had started around the same time. It was like me and Ranting Monkey and Satsu and Sinatra Says and a bunch of people that aren't here anymore, like Porco Dio and Misa. And who else was around? Oh my gosh, I can think of so many. Of course, Irate Alex or Irate Bear back in the day.
Right.
I mean, so many. Yeah, we all started around the same time, doing some of the same stuff, and we'd all start a little group, a little team. And that was always nice.
Did you have like a little group chat or?
Oh yeah, we had a group chat, and so every morning I'd come in and I would say hello to everybody in a different way. Everybody got a different word. I'd say like, felicitations, Miss Misa. And I'd say salutations, Irate Bear. And everybody would get like a different greeting word. I was practicing my vocabulary even then. And it became this habit every morning. And if I didn't do it, somebody would be like, where's my hello? That kind of thing.
Right.
And that was always fun. And it's interesting to see how people's lives have changed. Satsu's become a husband and a father now. And Monkey's become a grandfather like 5 times over already or something. It's crazy.
Yeah, he's ready to start a civilization.
Oh, no kidding. Yeah, he started. His kids have started their own like bloodline, for crying out loud. Like, gee, they'll start their own Game of Thrones epic before you know it. Well, maybe not literally. Let's see. Anybody in the chat here? All right. Oh, now you asked me something. I've asked you plenty. I've started. Please, you asked me something. It's my turn. I want to be the center of attention. Ask me something.
Okay. Why did you start making YouTube videos?
Well, it's a longish story, but the shortest story is that it became practically impossible to speak my mind amongst my social group at that time because of what we now call the woke mind virus was taking over, and simply expressing a doubt or having a question or saying, how did you reach the conclusion that person is racist, turned me into a pariah amongst people that I'd known for years, and suddenly I was now questionable or something in my morals. And so, my social group kind of fell apart around me. Right. Now, of course, somebody from the outside could say, oh, well, that's just because, you understand, Scribe, the common denominator there is you. You must have been the problem. I say, I would beg to differ. Obviously, I'm my own worst witness, but I can say with some certainty that people decided to join in on the moral, politically correct Puritanism to a degree that was beyond reason.
Right.
And some people in the chat have already heard the story of how I lost my best friend, and I don't mean lost in they lost their life or something, but during the election of 2016. But anyway, the worst TDS you can imagine occurred, and that kind of said to me, okay, I can't operate amongst people in my real life anymore and just say even benign things without suddenly having to pass some kind of test. So I need to find another outlet. And I've been watching commentary channels for a couple of years at that point, from Gamergate in 2014 and onward, including yourself. And I was like, well, I'm going to give this a try. What's the worst that can happen? So I shelled out some money for a copy of Vegas 14, which I still have. And I set up a YouTube channel, and the first video that you see on my channel is the first video I ever made, and I just wanted to have a place where I could express myself. I needed a new creative outlet. I needed something to keep me busy. As time went on, I found more different subjects that kind of bugged me, and I had something to say. And so we had immigration stuff and DEI stuff and political stuff and all types of different things. And
it's remarkably similar to my story.
Mm-hmm. Do tell.
Well, I mean, it wasn't about friendship for me, but it was about the fact that working with all these people in the film industry, I knew, I didn't even try. I knew that I cannot speak my mind.
Right.
So I needed an outlet. I just I needed somewhere to just put out my opinion uncensored and just make clear that I do not agree. I object.
Yes.
Even though I cannot do that at work, because obviously in the film industry, everything is hugely slanted to the left.
I just couldn't. I needed catharsis, and I couldn't find it amongst friends anymore like I used to. And talking to myself is only so, meaningful. Plus the fact that I wanted to test myself with something that I'd never done before, and that was video production. So like editing, scripting, all my videos, and still to this day, they are the most bottom basement skills at such things. But I'd never done it before, and I just I need to try something new.
Right.
And
that's good.
And I started pumping out it's at one point I was putting out like 3 videos a week or something. And I thought I was doing pretty good.
Yeah, for sure.
So.
Yeah, and obviously you can't just, like you say, you can't just talk to yourself. It's like the difference between jerking off and having sex.
Yes, there you go.
You got to talk to someone.
Yeah, I want to. Not only because if I just talk to myself, it just floats into the ether and is never there again. I still go back once in a while to some of my old videos, and I listen to on subjects that I have a lot more experience with now and what I thought about them back then. And I can see how much I've either learned or how I would have changed how I did a thing. Of course, people that are creative always do that. You look back at something you did previously and you critique it like, I should have done this, I should have done that, right. Kind of thing. But I don't expect to leave some kind of amazing record of brilliance or something. But at the same time, I don't know how else to chronicle myself. Maybe this is a reflex of, and I'm not putting out a sob story or something. I'm not married. I don't have any kids. I more likely than not, I'm probably never going to have any kids. And just the sense that I'm doing something that leaves a mark somehow in a little way is just enough. And I hope it's not like some kind of ego trip or something. But to have a sense that you're spending your time and you're learning things and you're living your life, and it's not all for nothing. Not to get too maudlin here, but I've been thinking about that a lot lately because of my father's situation. He's hopefully, fingers crossed, knock formica, it's not anytime soon, but it did become pretty close in the last 2-3 weeks with this leukemia that we thought it was the end. And he started reflecting.
To hear that.
Yeah, no, it's he got diagnosed last year, and as a family, we've kind of been on tenterhooks more or less ever since then on what would the next crisis be or something. And he had a really, really bad turn about 3 weeks ago, and he and we were pretty sure it was getting there, and so we all kind of gathered and we thought it was, but he must have good genes or something, because suddenly everything kind of turned around a bit and he was like, nope, I'm not ready to go anywhere. I'm like, okay, that's great.
Right.
And he's still there. But it does make you reflective, given, you start thinking about your mortality, your life, what you've done, what you haven't done, what you want to try to work towards not having regrets on, that kind of thing. And so as I'm coming up on my 9th anniversary here, I keep thinking, when I hit 10 years, I think I should probably stop and do something else. I think that's enough YouTube. I guess we'll see how I feel when I hit 10 years. But I don't know. I just do videos when I feel like it. That's good enough for me. I need to have a routine. So I have at least, 2 things a week that I'm definitely doing. Plus the fact that I also have this, I want to keep myself engaged. I want to constantly keep challenging myself to listen to things that are goofy and try to take them apart and analyze them to keep my brain active. And also,
how are you going to do that if you stop making videos?
Well, I go back to school, maybe. Of course, I don't know that I want to go back to school the way the schools are run these days. Because man, I dodged a bullet when I graduated from college in 2002. That was just before the biggest wave of, woke nonsense started coming over the horizon. So I lucked out there. Mm-hmm. I do wonder though if that stuff had come along when I was in my sort of formative years, let's say, would I have been taken in, or would I have been skeptical of it then as I became as time went on? I always wonder. Am I susceptible?
I guess that depends on if you're a follower or a leader.
Yeah, there was a time where I tried to be, because I was kind of the outsider. I was the quiet kid with the glasses, and I was kind of smaller than the other kids, and so I wanted to belong, right? I didn't want to feel alone all the time. Mm-hmm. But then I would see the kids around me acting like jerks, and I was like, well, I don't want to be a jerk to fit in. And the only way to sort of make people like you around the kids that were in my neighborhood was to also be kind of a jerk. I don't want to. And so I stayed alone rather than become that which I, would beat me up otherwise. Right. And so I've always been resistant to the go along to get along mindset. Thankfully.
Right.
But and I empathize with people that end up in places that maybe they didn't expect, because I can understand the desire to belong, the desire to be part of something larger than yourself. We all have that reflex, right? In all of us, we want to be the hero of our story in some way, shape, or form. And sometimes that's taken advantage of by others, or we allow ourselves to be scooped up into something because it feels good at the time, so I can kind of understand why cults still operate, but there's also a threshold barrier where I'm thinking okay, come on, you got to know something's wrong now about that kind of stuff.
Well, I mean, being the central character of your life is, of course, the way it is, but it's also kind of destructive. It makes people be unbelievably selfish, right?
It can, yeah.
Everyone's the central character of their life. That's you can't expect them not to be, but still, holy shit, there are some arrogant fucks out there.
Yeah, community, charity, empathy.
I'm not talking even at that level. I'm just talking about an idiot that walks into McDonald's and then just beats people up because the burger was too much.
Yeah, entitlement.
Fuck.
Yeah, people. Yeah,
entitlement.
People that have been raised to think that they are the center of the universe. It's one thing to understand you're the center of your own story. It's the other thing to think that the rest of the world revolves around you specifically.
Yeah, but it seems like that's what we've been teaching people.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, there's a coddling, a safety net.
If the slightest thing goes wrong, it's justified to just fucking freak out and start beating people up.
There are, if anybody wants to see the worst, or some of the worst of these things, go on YouTube, which you already are, and look up like body cam entitled teen or something like that.
Right.
And you will have an endless array of examples of the worst possibly raised individuals who think that, being questioned about something is they're basically having like hot coals held at the bottoms of their feet or something. It's insane. I've never, I can't, I know that mentality exists. I just cannot project myself into empathizing with that kind of mentality.
It's absolutely insane. I've seen similar videos, what you're describing probably, and it's like people absolutely freaking out and making a small little situation into a huge fucking deal.
Yeah,
like
they think inconvenience is oppression. Inconvenience is victimization.
Like it usually starts with someone getting pulled over or someone being like told something in a restaurant by a cop. Like if it's in a restaurant, they're like, okay, you're just gonna have to leave now, and then it escalates into this enormous thing, and now they're gonna go away for fucking assault and shit. Or if they get pulled over, they're going to be like, why did you pull me over? Oh my God. And then it ends with, them trying to beat the cop up or something, or pull a gun or whatever.
You ever see sovereign citizen videos?
Back in the day, I haven't seen them recently, but like, I don't know, 2017 maybe.
Yeah, sure. No, there was a lot of them back then. I always, when I think of like being pulled over and people getting all self-centered, like sovereign citizens.
Those guys are retarded.
Yeah, I know.
just give them the license, and if he says you're speeding, like you either say like, okay, give me the ticket, or you say no, I'm going to dispute that, and get on with your life.
Yeah, it's the roadside Perry Masons that make life so much more interesting, isn't it? It's like I'm gonna debate with the police officers. Like, no, I'm traveling, not driving. This is my vessel. We're under maritime law. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Maritime law.
Oh no, maritime law. Oh yeah, no, they'll go into a courtroom. And if I think it's somebody in the chat will know better than I do. But if the flag behind the judge does not or does have the gold fringe underneath it, then it's a maritime court, and we're under maritime law. And under maritime law, I was in my personal vessel, and you cannot impede my progress. That just absolute insanity. Also, oh my gosh, hold it real quick. Excellent Seller gives me 50 knocks. Oh my gosh, 50 knocks.
I love the knocks.
I believe that's Norwegian kroner. Ooh.
Oh,
exotic.
I thought you were talking Stargate.
No. Mine began with Dark Fate 2019. Had just rewatched Terminator 2, Reliving My Teens, and then boom, that atrocity dropped. I was pissed. I've hated the woke ever since. Man, Terminator 2, or the Terminator franchise should have stopped at 3.
No, it should have stopped at 2.
Well, if Cameron had done 3, it probably would have been okay. But anyway, the ending of 3 was probably the best part of the whole movie, because that was like the downbeat sort of like, oh, we're not having a happy ending kind of thing. That was my favorite part of the whole movie. But there's some franchises need to stop. The Alien franchise needs to stop. The Rambo franchise needs to stop. The Terminator franchise needs to stop. Stop. These things are done.
Yeah.
Thank you, Excellent Seller, by the way.
Especially Terminator.
There's nowhere else to go. It's done.
It's done. And like I said, I think it should have been done at 2. That was it.
That was the peak. That was certainly the peak. Yeah.
It was fine. You had the first one. You had the second one. Now all you could do is repeat shit.
Or you could do, if you just cut it off there, if you had to do anything, you do Salvation and you just go forward in a post-apocalyptic thing for a couple of movies. But after that, it's done. There's nothing else to do.
But people didn't like that either. So
I know. Yeah, it didn't turn out very well. But they're getting ready to do a Rambo movie with.
I didn't really have any problem with that Terminator movie, but people didn't like it.
I thought some of the narrative tools didn't work out very well, but it's beside the point. There's some things that need to die.
There was some bullshit, but
Yeah.
that was the least offensive of the sequels.
Yes. Oh, certainly. Yes. Salvation was actually doing something different with the franchise. It was actually taking us into the results of it rather than just constantly boarding up Judgment Day.
I hated number 3, and I hated Genesis.
Dark Fate and Genesis. Yeah, that's nonsense. The Sarah Connor Chronicles were okay. It was getting into multiverse stuff, but at least it was trying to tell a different story, which was okay.
I watched a couple episodes and I just lost interest.
Yeah, it was, like I say, I don't recommend it highly, but it was okay.
I didn't feel it was TV series material.
Okay.
It's like, no, this is 2 hours. This is a 2-hour thing.
Yeah, the upcoming biggest, well, not maybe the biggest blasphemy, but one of the biggest blasphemies is that they're continuing the Rambo series with a prequel, but they're hiring somebody else, and Sly's not involved. And it's like, no, stop.
Really? I haven't heard of that.
Oh, yeah. The guy who was, I forget his name, the guy who was originally going to play He-Man when they were making that movie like 5 or 6 years ago, they're hiring him to play young Rambo. It's going to be, I think it's going to take place in Vietnam or something. But Sly Stallone's not involved. Chuck Dixon had already written.
Not even as a producer or something?
No. He's got, reportedly, he's got nothing to do with it. He doesn't want to have anything to do with it. So not a producer.
Fuck that shit.
Yeah, I know. He's not even involved as a producer. But if you're gonna do a Rambo prequel, first off, don't, because we don't, just like Han Solo, we don't need a prequel. Yeah, but if you're gonna do a prequel, you have to have Sylvester Stallone bookending it with narration talking about his time in Vietnam. Otherwise, no. If he's and then you can never do another Rambo movie again, because that would be the capper to it, because then you just move on to First Blood, and then that's it. There's nothing else.
I just don't care about his backstory. It's not that important.
No, it's not. Chuck Dixon wrote a prequel comic book that Sylvester Stallone was involved and gave input on. So there's already a story out there if you want the quote unquote semi-official version of Rambo's backstory. And if you're going to do anything, do that. Make that into a movie. Chuck Dixon just had a really good turn with his
backstory. Backstory is just a code word for not interesting story.
It could also be true, unless it's set up that way. You know, I mean, there have been some things where it's been. I'm trying to think of a good prequel.
Okay, go ahead.
Let me think about that. As I say that, like, what was a good prequel? I can think of some good remakes. I don't know if I can think of some good prequels.
Yeah, we're waiting.
I know. I'm sorry. I was setting myself up for a fall there.
Yeah, you walked right into that one.
But in the back of my mind, I'm thinking there's at least. It's one of those things where it's on the tip of my tongue. There was one thing where they cast people as younger versions of those characters, and it worked. And I'm just, somebody in the chat's going to help me, right? Right, guys? Oh wait, I already got that one. Sorry, Accident Seller. Just saw that one. Anyway, never mind. I take it back. There is no good prequel. I'll have to prove myself wrong later.
I don't know. For me, I think the idea of a prequel is shit. Mm-hmm. I think it sucks, and stop doing it.
Now remakes. There's only a few good remakes.
No, but I mean, a remake is okay. That's a fine concept if you wait enough time. Mm-hmm. Like, The Thing is obviously a remake of The Thing from Another World, and that was like 40 years old at the time. Like, if a movie is 40 years old or older, then okay, now it's fair game, I think.
Yeah, True Grit, good remake.
Right. Yeah. You could do that when it's old enough, but if you're doing it like 10 years later, we're doing sometimes now. Like,
I always had a problem with the American versions of really good foreign films, like Let the Right One In, or Girl with a Dragon Tattoo, or Insomnia. It's like the originals are perfect just as they are. Oh no, an American audience might have to read some subtitles. Heaven for fucking fend. But no, we have to make an American remake.
I can understand that, but dub them then.
Well, personally, no, I'd rather have the subtitles, but and I'm not saying that the
I can't read subtitles, so I understand that.
Undoomed is illiterate, everybody. We're learning new things here.
Yeah, it stresses me out so much. I forget how to read when I know there's a time limit to it. It's infuriating.
Okay, all right. I prefer subtitles to dubbing, personally.
Yeah, it just doesn't work. I get so stressed out. I just want to go blow my brains out if I'm watching something.
Mouths moving.
I'm sitting up right at the edge of my fucking sofa. I'm like,
oh geez,
fucking concentrating, trying to. Okay, is it going to switch now? Is it going to switch now? And at the same time, I'm trying to read it. Like, oh my God, could you just speak?
The thing that on the flip side, the thing that drives me nuts is mouths moving not in time with the words being spoken. That just makes me, my brain just goes absolutely nuts.
I've been editing film for 20 years. I'm used to that.
Well, then we are on different ends of the spectrum, and obviously we have to hate each other now.
Yes, I hate
subtitles versus dubbing. Everybody, we've reached our tribal definitions.
It's not. I'm not saying I like dubbing. Like, obviously, it's weird. It's just that reading shit on a time limit. It's just. I just can't stand it. Yeah. Because I know I'm going to miss something, and because I know that, I get even more stressed out, and then I miss reading even more because I'm stressed out because I know I'm going to miss. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy in an endless loop.
And that is what we call hell, I think.
Yeah.
Let's see. Anybody in the chat? You have any questions for Undoomed? Or things you'd like to hear our input on or anything?
Yes.
Oh, also, by the way, I keep forgetting about this. Guys, if you haven't already seen in the chat, did you know that there's now a leaderboard for participation in the chat? Oh my gosh, you guys get points and XP. You get a little crown by your name if you're one of the most active individuals, if you care about that kind of thing. I have absolutely... Yeah, to this point, I have absolutely no idea what that is supposed to do for anybody except for sort of like a bragging rights kind of deal. But
I guess it's like a top score in a game.
Yeah, and in that I was told at the beginning, I don't know if this is still true, and this is not me soliciting or anything, but effectively it was also pay to win, because if you like do a super chat, it gets you XP, I guess.
Okay.
I guess maybe it makes more sense in like channels that have like a whole bunch of like thousands of people watching at one time kind of thing, and the chat's just going by a million miles an hour. I never understand why people have chats open for channels that have a zillion people watching, because you can't read anything.
Yeah.
There's not much to do there. Ransom. Okay, fine. I like lurking. I know you like lurking because you're creepy. You're a creepy lady. Creepy, and then literally
creepy lady.
Creepy girls. Let's see. Tee-hee, says Keeverdam. Yes. Let's see. YouTube is trying to be more like Twitch with this leaderboard thing. Yeah, they don't need to compete with Twitch unless I mean Twitch makes a lot of money, I guess. So maybe that's
you got a question for me there from Nazi3PO.
Oh, wait a second, sorry. Undoomed, what editing ware do you use at work?
Usually DaVinci Resolve. But for just doing my shit on YouTube, I usually just go with Premiere Pro.
How much are those things, and are they on subscription?
DaVinci Resolve is actually free if you just want to use it for your home stuff. Okay. You don't get the special effects module, but you get the full editing. Okay. If you just want to use it for editing. So that's what I recommend to everyone. It's an amazing professional software. It's been around since like the 90s. It's always been used in the film industry. It's amazing, an amazing piece of software that has been a standard for the film industry for a long time. The fact that you don't get the node-based special effects editing thing is not going to matter to 99% of YouTube users. So if you just want to make a YouTube video, go download that. It's free, right? I just use Premiere because I have a lot of other people in the, like, I do work in both the film and the TV industry, and there's a lot of TV guys who like Premiere for some reason. So I've just gotten used to that, and I have a lot of fucking plugins for that thing, because so it's just so okay. I know I got a plugin for that. So when I do YouTube videos, it's always been like, I'll just do it with Premiere.
Cool.
And of course, After Effects. Those things kind of form a unit.
Gotcha. Yeah, I just if I do scripted videos anymore, and I don't often do, but if I have to edit videos, I just have Vegas 14, and I don't do any like special effects or anything. It's just very, very low level bottom stuff. I've gotten very good at using StreamYard and all the little widgets and things to do my streams and such, but.
Right.
Right. But yeah, I've never been a very sophisticated video creator. I suppose I could be if I really put my mind to it.
No,
I never really had
sure,
to.
Of course.
I've gotten much better at my Photoshop skills over the last couple of years. A lot of time of that, and I have like an old copy of Photoshop, so I have to like look up some like archival things when I'm trying to figure out what to do with it. To try to figure out what how to make this particular thing happen.
Photoshop is more expensive than heroin nowadays.
Yeah, well, I think I have the last version that wasn't requiring a subscription, so it's just completely.
Yeah, like CS6 probably.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
And amazingly, it still works on modern OS.
They raised the price on me like a motherfucker.
I couldn't do a subscription on that. Yeah, so I've got if that copy of Photoshop ever dies out or somehow becomes incompatible or whatever, I've got GIMP, but it's so alien to me that I'm kind of hesitant to try to use it more than I have to.
Yeah. I don't understand how we ended up in this place because, like I said, I've used Photoshop and all those products also with alongside everything else for 20 years, right? And when they came out with their subscription thing, I was like, it's just gonna allow more people to have it, and seemed innocuous enough, and now they just raised the price from like what I think it was like $50 to like $90 for a month. Like
it's like
okay,
if I buy a piece of software,
if
I buy software, it should be mine. It should be mine. I should own it. I shouldn't have to keep paying.
Yeah,
for
but
it
obviously,
perpetually.
well, we're past that, and
I know
that's not my point. My point is they know you're dependent on it, and they're like,
exactly.
fuck you, fuck
crack
you.
dealers.
You're gonna pay what I say you're gonna pay, you asshole.
Yeah,
and they can almost double the price, which they did, from 1 month to the other. And what are you gonna do about it? You can't do shit.
Yeah, did you know that Photoshop was co-invented by one of the guys that worked on the Star Wars prequel movies?
Of course, John Knoll.
John Knoll. Oh, the heck? My trivia was bested by the guy who already knows the answer. Never mind. I was trying to impress
John
somebody.
Knoll.
I bet you have. I bet you have.
Yes.
I have not. So you have the better of me, sir. Jeez.
Yeah.
Sometimes
that's
I impress people with
That's an
trivia.
amazing coincidence. Like everyone's like, "Oh my God, he invented Photoshop and worked on Star Wars." Holy shit! That's
Yeah.
that's a charmed life.
No kidding. And I think he was also one of the guys who pushed, either wrote or pushed the concept for Rogue One. So
yeah, he came up with a story treatment for it.
Yeah, that's right. He came with the treatment for it based on that one line in the opening scroll of Episode 4.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, yeah.
That's a charmed life.
Yeah, it's a charmed life right there, man. Some people just fall into things. Forrest Gump, I tell you.
Well, I mean, obviously he is smart as a motherfucker.
Well, yes, he's a genius and he works hard. Yeah, obviously, these things. Well, at least I hope that's the case. These things didn't just like fall into his lap because of nepotism or something. But no, I assume that he has earned his stripes. Yeah.
Yes, I'm pretty sure he's a genius.
Yes, certainly.
You got another question there from not C3PO.
Oh my gosh. Where is it here? Do I? See, I don't see it. Editing where to use at work. And then I'm looking for another question mark here. It doesn't pop up for me the same way.
Right.
Was there another question?
Yeah. It says Undoomed used to use Maya before the times.
Oh, okay. I see. I didn't see a question mark. That was a problem.
Okay. Maybe that wasn't a question, but yes, I used Maya.
Maya.
You know what Maya is?
I recognize the name. It was video editing software, right?
No, it's 3D animation software.
Oh, 3D animation. Okay. No, then I don't know what you're talking about. No.
Right. Yes, that's the 3D animation software that I am trained for or have used, whatever. But as of lately, I've actually used a lot of Unreal because it's so much easier to just, I can get it rendered immediately.
Did you, and then Premiere has a nice little transcribe button, says Miranda Stone.
Mm-hmm.
Like transcribe your voice or whatever.
I get voiceovers, I guess, and I mean subtitles, I guess.
Yeah, I've had the task of manually creating subtitles for my true crime videos and a couple other things before. That is not fun. that was a toil. If there was no transcribe option on Vegas,
doesn't YouTube do that for you automatically?
They can, I think. Now, but I don't know how accurate.
What do you mean
it is.
now? They've been doing that since 2017.
Have they? Okay, I've never used it for anything as far as that's when I was making my true crime videos, I had to put in subtitles for like interrogation footage and things like that to try to clarify what's being said. And I didn't have the option of having it done automatically through my software. I had to write them and put them in manually. But here's a question that's always fascinated me, right? YouTube transcribes everything. You get subtitles on everything everywhere, right? I'm not sure. I don't know if you're aware of this. I've never tried to turn subtitles on my own videos, so I'll take your word for it. If it is doing it, if it is okay.
It is, and there are actually databases where you can go and search every word that any creator has eever said. So if I go and search for Scribe Light, I can instantly find any video you said retarded, right?
Oh, no.
So if I wanted to find out, oh my God, Scribe Light used the word retarded, I can go find that, right?
Okay.
Because YouTube transcribes everything.
Okay.
But here's my question. So if you hear the sound, you hear me saying or you saying the word retarded. Mm-hmm. But if you see the subtitles, it's blacked out. So are they saying that if you're deaf, you're not strong enough to hear the real words? Read the word,
yeah. I guess.
Yeah, no, hear the... Oh, yeah, read, of course.
I guess gotcha.
Gotcha. That's like, isn't that ableist? They always talk about ableism, right?
Well, not only is it ableism in a way, in the sense that you're nanny stating people for what you think that they're not prepared for, or they're not able to consume. And it's also kind of 1984-ish, because now you're editing the permanent record for bad words or something. So yeah, I don't like censorship in any particular way, especially when it comes to things like that. Because if somebody, like I was talking before about the true crime guys, where they have to keep changing their words or using initials to refer to certain concepts and stuff, because YouTube will demonetize them or make their video unwatchable in certain areas of the world or something because they use the wrong word. I hate that stuff. It's just like, if you want to put some kind of
but
18 plus something. Go ahead.
I mean, that's fine. I'm just thinking about the double standards of if you can hear, you can hear whatever, but if you're deaf, then you get everything censored. I mean, I've turned on the subtitles on stuff just to check, and it's like every fucking swear word, everything's just it's just a bunch of dots. Like it won't write it out. So no, if you're deaf, you're not strong enough to hear this shit.
This is the difference between like the archived written word versus someone saying it. Yeah, I don't understand that.
Yeah, but in this case, the spoken word is stronger.
Yeah, I didn't know. No, I rarely ever. I've never willingly turned on subtitles before. Sometimes they'll be accidentally turned on already or something. And yeah, and I guess I should have known, because there was this recent controversy over a YouTuber who was claiming to be an engineer, which had some legal connotation to it in Canada or whatever. And so someone went through all of his videos, keyword searching the word engineer, and brought up video clip after video clip of him making this claim that he was an engineer when he's not, and never was trained in one. And so he was, deceiving people for a decade or whatever. And I was like, oh, I didn't know it was like archiving all of my words. That creeps me out now.
Well, I mean,
of course, it's archiving it. Yeah, I mean, the fact that I have videos out there, but now that there's like a database with everything I've ever said on YouTube, holy cow, who knows?
Well, I mean, you're talking about Mudahar, right?
Yes, yeah, Ordinary Gamer or whatever.
Yes, exactly. So, I mean, you think they sat through his 40 billion hours of content to find those?
No. The guy said that he searched through the transcripts. Right. But I thought, I guess I never thought the transcripts were automatic. I thought it was something that you had to like willfully be turning on as a user or something. But I guess that's not the case. So silly me. I didn't know. No. And I learned something I didn't know. And as we know, guys, knowing is a constant source of disappointment. There you go. I made that myself.
Well, that's good. It reminds me of what's that? G.I. Joe or something?
Yeah. It's because knowing is half the battle. Knowing is a constant source of disappointment. Yep. I found the font and I angled it and I got the little bits and pieces, put it all together, and I have so many plugins for your editing and stuff. I have 500 plus fonts in my my Photoshop, because the best thing when you're trying to emulate another piece of art or satirize something else is to make sure you have the exact or as close as possible font to make your point. And just for the sake of showing off slightly, because I have a couple that I'm kind of proud of. Where do I have it here? The old desktop. Which one do I want to do here? Oh, how about we'll do this one. I made this up a while ago for a joke.
BIPOC Rock.
You remember Cop Rock? That failed show from. My God.
I don't know which series this is supposed to be, but
there was a series in the 80s. It lasted for like an episode before it was canceled. It's called Cop Rock, and it was a musical dance number cop show.
Oh my God, I can't imagine why that failed.
Oh man, it was absolutely amazing, absolutely amazing. I think you can find it on YouTube now, the episode. But it was disaster area. And then you got this one. I always like that one.
The actress. Oh, yeah. That's kind of, that is, it's either that, what was the other thing they always called it? The Afroist or something?
Oh, I hadn't heard that one. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, something like that. There was a bunch of nicknames for this piece of shit. Oh, now C-3PO's got another question.
Uh-oh. Okay, hold on.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Dipsy, la-la, po, uh-oh. Okay, is it a question? Does it have, get Tom to make you the more scribe nose riff? Oh, yeah, there's a whole bunch of little, like, stingers I keep meaning to put or add to my collection, like an applause one, or doon, 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 doon. Or maybe like a G.I. Joe version for that one. Da-da-da-da-da, or something. I don't know.
Yeah, he had a question for me, too.
Oh, did it? Where?
If you want to put it up on the screen.
I can't see. Where is the question? Where is the question? Hey, if you have a question for Undoomed, tag me in it too so I can see it. Oh, there it is. Hold on. There it is. Hold on. I see it. One second. My Mac Pro is almost dead. Should I stick with Apple or go to Windows or a flavor of Linux?
I mean, that's really a question of what your clients want. I have most of my editing I have to do on Apple, but I have a dual setup where I always work where I have a PC and a Mac, so I can do like Unreal stuff and shit on the PC, and I can do editing on the Mac. Obviously, the Mac is going to be more stable, but there's a lot more shit you can do on Windows. So it depends on what your client needs. And if you're just doing it for yourself, then what do you need?
Mm-hmm. There you go. Do what you want to do.
Well, it's a tough question. And a lot of it is taste.
Right.
But when you work with it professionally, there are certain requirements.
Well, I am unfortunately hitting the ceiling of my wakefulness. I'm usually in bed by now. And so I'm getting sleepy. I don't know about you. Sleepy.
Bruh.
Well, you got a soundboard. I don't have a soundboard. Like my soundboard is like little tiny little video clips and thing. Like that kind of thing.
Of course! What a twist!
Well,
that kind of thing.
Got a little thing.
Or if I... What was that? Was that an alien noise?
Just Godzilla.
Oh, Godzilla. Or if I have a psychic moment on one of my... Get a little Karnak action. Huh? Huh? It's just like... It's silly. It's such a dumb noise, like, huh? It's like a bewildered donkey or something. Huh?
It always makes me laugh.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. But yeah, so I need to abscond myself to the wonderful world of sleepy time. But Undoomed, what do you got going on? You got anything come up? What's your project? What's your next video? Are you doing any dances in the streets? Anything?
Oh yeah, every day.
Oh wow. I could imagine you dancing in the street.
Oh yeah, the streets are filled with scum.
Well,
I just go out there to clean them up.
There you go. Oh yeah, I'll pitch you my movie script. 12 gauge castration. It's all about it's a revenge movie where a guy goes around taking out people who would mess around with kids.
Oh,
yeah, it's an exploitation film. Yeah.
Oh, kind of like what's that movie?
Hobo with a shotgun.
No, that's not what I was thinking. I was thinking more that 30-minute film.
The 30-minute film.
Fuck, what's it called?
Kung Fury.
Kung Fury. There you go. Kung Fury.
Oh, you know the sequel just came out.
No, what are you talking about?
You don't know about Kung Fury 2 just came out?
No, it's been held up in court forever. You're just telling me it came out?
Yeah, hold on. So I came out just a few weeks ago. Hold on. It's got Michael Fassbender in it, and oh my God,
it's been tied up in court for years.
Well, all I can tell you is that there's a 10-minute, 49-second sizzle reel that's basically a giant trailer for it. So
okay, but has it come out or not?
Well, it's as come out as it's going to come out. Do you want to watch it?
Sure.
Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can do this without screwing everything up.
Oh my God, that's my favorite movie.
I hope I don't get like copyright claim for this. That'd be bad. I guess we'll find out. All right, here we go. I'll turn off the background music. All right. I might have to pause it for the sake of safety occasionally.
Sure.
Right,
yeah, you should.
In a city overrun with crime, in a time ruled by chaos, the world's #1 rock band is also the world's greatest crime-fighting team.
Okay. You know, I'm actually kind of nervous I'm kind of nervous of playing the whole thing because I might get in trouble for that. So anyway, I'm going to put a link to this in the chat. If you haven't seen Kung Fury, look up Kung Fury, and this is just the sizzle reel, but it's got Michael Fassbender, it's got Arnold Schwarzenegger, it's crazy, it's awesome. And you haven't seen it yet, so Undoomed, I'll zap you the link over in Twitter for your reference. And,
right, but I'm still not sure. Has it come out?
I don't think it's come out. I think it's about as close as we're going to get or something. I don't know what the exact situation is, but this came out.
This one, as far as I know, this movie was done 5 years ago, and they just been suing each other over it, and it's not, apparently, as far as I knew, it was never going to come out.
Yeah, so despite being, I'm reading from the Wikipedia page, despite being completed as of May of 2025, the film had no set release date due to legal issues, undefined. In a 2024 interview, Hammerstone Studios head Alex Lebovici stated that the film is complete. We've shot it. There is a matter that we're cautiously optimistic that we're going to be able to work through. I can't share more on that, but we're hopeful that there will be resolution shortly. On May 10th, 2025, a 10-minute sizzle reel of the film was leaked, quote-unquote, online. And that's what we have so far. So it's not the film, but it's a bunch of highlights, and it looks hilarious. It's great. So take a look at it already.
That's the best movie ever.
I know. It's so good. But with that, guys, for myself, granted I have the energy to, tomorrow, Saturday, at 3 p.m. Pacific Time, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, will be the next episode of Dog, Cat, Fox, and Friend. I'm the friend, and he's Dog, Cat, Fox. Wowie, wow, wow. And he lives on the moon with me, and we talk about stories that happened over the week that I haven't talked about previously. Like maybe. Exactly. That's basically the whole show. Just keep hitting that button every 10 minutes, and that's how it is. I read an article, and then I can move on. That's basically it. Yeah, because it'll be all sorts of nonsense. I'll probably bring up Miss Felix again. Saint Felix. Oh, Saint Felix. St. Felix of Racist. Nice. But Undoomed, it was so nice to have you on and to talk to you and kibitz for a while.
Always a pleasure to be here.
Pressure. It's always a pressure to
pressure. Always a pressure.
Under pressure. But everybody, thank you so much for joining us. Moderators, thank you for keeping an eye on things, even though everyone here is so well behaved. You have very, very little to do. Everybody who donated either to myself or to the GoFundMe, the Leukemia Lymphoma Society link at the top of the chat box. Thank you guys so much for your generosity. Very much appreciate it. By the way, guys in the chat, those of you who might be new here, do you know I have a Discord server? Would you like to join the Discord server? Well, there's a link to the Discord server in the chat right now. You just have to click on that link. You'll find yourself on the landing channel called Say Hello. And in addition to saying hello, you just have to say the secret word. The secret word will tell me that you actually watch the stream, are not a bot, and thus earn the right, the privilege, the entitlement to join the Discord server. And today's secret word is, what's today's secret word, Undoomed?
Boing.
Boing. Just say hello, boing, and I'll definitely know that you watch the show. Otherwise, everybody, hope you have a good rest of your Friday night up until whenever it stops being Friday. Hope you have a good weekend ahead of you. And if you haven't already, again, check out Undoomed, subscribe, share, tweet, put it out there on all the social medias that you know, whether it's Twitter or Facebook or LimeWire or Napster or MySpace.
And Vine.
Yeah, remember, don't forget Vine. Don't forget Friendster. Don't forget Friendster or MyJournal.
Yeah.
Definitely don't forget MyJournal. IRC, ICQ, AOL, IM, Google Buzz. I could go on. Everybody, have a good night, and we will see you on the next one.
Bruh.